Join Ed from Roll2Win and Jeff from MidAtlantic Craps as they go beyond the felt and dive deep into the world of dice. In this interactive live stream, where they are leaving no chips unturned from strategy, betting trends, control shooting, and casino stories to your live questions and comments. Get in the chat, share your thoughts, ask questions, and be part of the action. Whether you're a dice influencer, a weekend warrior, or just craps curious, the show is for you. Show's title is Beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned. Show's title is Beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned. Show's title is Beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned. Show's title is Beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned. Whether you're a dice influencer, a weekend warrior, or just craps curious, the show is for you. Show's title is Beyond the Passline, no chips left unturned. Or chips left unturned.
Well, everyone, it's Jeff from MidAtlantic Craps, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And also, I am streaming on my good friend Ed from Roll2Win's channel. So it's a dual stream tonight. Ed, how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing well. I hope you are.
I am. It's been a while since I've seen you. I was actually able to see you in person, live and up front, with you and Tinton and a bunch of other people. About a month ago in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's been 3 or 4 weeks. I guess it's been right in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a month, but you've been back since then. You went back to Vegas.
I've been to Vegas twice. I was in Vegas twice in 3 weeks.
Well, we'll talk about our
old man.
We'll talk about our trips in just a little bit. Hey, look, everyone, this is Beyond the Passline. It's actually our third episode. It's just Ed and me sitting here talking about craps and experiences, and we're going to ask somebody if they want to come on and join the show. And in show 2, we had a gentleman from Florida join us, and probably Ed did a great interview during that segment. I probably went 25, 30 minutes talking to that gentleman, and made the show really, really well. So
I see my buddy Lord Tornago out there, and he was Mike, old school Mike Malone, bootlegger out there. Mark,
they're all over on your channel, but it doesn't matter as long as they're watching and giving us a thumbs up. We don't care if you're watching us on Ed's channel, Roll2Win Craps, or my channel, MidAtlantic Craps. Just welcome to the show, and we'll be putting some chats up there. But Ed, this whole Beyond the Passline kind of talk show, and I hate to use the word podcast because really we're not really saving it as a podcast. It's just two old fools getting on YouTube that love the game of craps, that like each other, and talk. I mean, the idea came from both of us saying about the same thing probably a month and a half ago or so, and here we are. I'm going to say it's
been longer than that because we haven't done one in a while. I guess we did one. Did we do one right before we met up in Vegas?
Yes. Yep.
And so it's been a month since we've done one, and I know we did one before that. So whatever that was.
One of the reasons why we didn't do one since I was in Vegas is because you went back to Vegas for the Las Vegas experience with the casino tiers, which we'll talk about in the show coming up, dates and stuff. If you really want to think about that. But it is the game of craps as we know it is entertaining. It's fun. It's frustrating at times. It's a pain in the you-know-what. But we continue to go out and do what we're doing. And I think, I don't want to, speak for you, but I've had a pretty good last couple of years, where years before that I was constantly losing. So the way that I play, nobody has to play like me. It just happens to work. But I know that some of it came from you. Some of my dice tossing where I try to influence the dice. I'm not very good at it, but I try my best. Came from you, and you helped me with that. With this casino experience, I mean the Las Vegas and now soon to be Biloxi experience, you guys got a lot of people coming in.
We really do. We were sold out. I mean, we only do 8 a day, 8 on Saturday, 8 on Sunday. So that gives everybody some really good individualized attention, and we had just a great atmosphere with everybody. That they all gelled real good, and and so we're getting close to 60% sold out for next year already.
Yep, and we'll go through the schedule here in a little bit. But one of the things I liked, and we got to go back and talk about when you and I were in Vegas. One of the things I liked that I saw on Facebook on this last experience is you had a female student who performed in the game of craps really well and made some money for some folks.
She made money for everybody on the table. Sweet Rolls was her handle, and she wants to be. Her goal is to be the best female shooter in South Florida.
She's on her way based upon what I saw.
She is on her way, and she might beat 98% of the guys down there too as well. She's got it going. She had a 26 roll hand after the class in our group throw, and she hit 10 sixes.
Wow. Where were you on the 6 when she 7'd out?
We had both collected at 420. I think that was the last hit, if I remember.
So it's always great to drop the 10 and get the purple chip.
Yep. She had never collected a black chip. She had never collected a purple chip, and obviously never collected a $1,000 canary chip. So there's Cage. Howdy, Cage. She was ecstatic. I mean, she's played down in South Florida and steady as she goes kind of a player. And then we took her, and I worked on her shot. I worked on her grip for a long time that day. And then I gave her a die set, and it worked. So.
And is it dice set secret, or can you tell us what she was actually throwing most of the time?
She threw the same set the whole time. It was a half 7 set I gave her. I forget,
okay.
5-4, 5-4, 2, something, 2-6, 2-1. I don't remember.
And that was based upon what you observed during her session.
That was what we had done on our practice table. Yeah, during the day. Yeah.
Wow.
I worked with her real hard on it.
That's just something that you really want to see. You hope that happens, but to see I call it a student, to see somebody come in, take the class, benefit from the class, go out and do what they're needing to do, and make money. But that doesn't necessarily account the betting side of it. In the class, you go over the betting stuff too.
Yeah, Bo takes half the class in the morning. I take the other half, and he works on betting. And then we rotate, and I work on the tosses and stuff while he's working on the betting with some of the other people. And him and 10 Ton are going through the betting. And then in the afternoon, we do some situational betting with one of the students tossing, and we all talk about how we would bet that hand, how it's developing, and that kind of thing. So we learn. It's all about learning. That's all it is.
Well, go ahead.
Yours truly rode the ATS right after that, dude. So
the whole thing?
What can I say? Yeah.
The whole kit caboodle?
Yeah, right after when she 7'd out, I got the dice and I rolled the ATS.
Wow. That does not happen. The ATS doesn't happen enough as it is, let alone, often enough. Yeah.
She challenged me. Me. She says, "I dare you to follow that great hand." I said, "Hold my bourbon."
Well, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water tonight, so I'm not sure what you have, but
I've water. I've got Diet Coke, and I've got brown water.
Well, I figured you'd have some brown water, probably the Diet Coke's a mixer, and then, well, I don't know. You like it on the rocks, so you like
Pure bourbon, just a pure bourbon on a big old chunk of ice right there.
Yeah, I mean, when we have the nightcap when we play together, which we were only able to do that once when we were in Vegas back last month for the Craps for the Cure, and we only were able to actually. Yeah, it was nice to finally meet 10 Ton. I mean, that was really nice. Although he was sprinting around, if you know what I mean.
He was trying to get the.
He was there.
He was getting them steps in.
Well, I was wondering, one of the things I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to let people know that if you're watching and you would like to join the show, whether you want to be just audio only or your videos as well, we'll take either one. Send me an email at jeff@MidAtlanticCraps.com, and I'll give you the key to come in. We've got time for a couple people if they want to come in, and if not, they don't. As I said earlier in the show, we had somebody come in the show too, and it really made it good. When we were there, right before we went for the nightcap, you and I went to a crapless table, and it was a horrible experience outside your first roll. But you were there for a roll with me, and I've mentioned this on another show that I was playing. 10 Ton came up, and then you came up, and I was in a row. What's that?
Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, Planet Hollywood. I was in a row, and I don't know how many the guy threw, because initially we were all three standing talking, and I didn't want to get out of this hand, and I wasn't pressing specifically. And then 10 Ton, he went off to do his next mile and a half before he came back for the nightcap, and you were standing next to me. And I know that you had money in your hand and you wanted to get in, but you didn't want to interrupt the roll. The guy never hit a point, and when he got done, I guess I take that back. He did hit a point, and when he was setting it, you looked at me and you said, "Your 4 ought to be at table max," and I don't know what the table max was at Planet Hollywood, because I never go there.
$5,000.
5. I can't picture being at 5, but that guy hit a lot of 4s. I mean, a lot of 10s. One or the other.
It was 10s. It was 10s, but it was 10s.
Difference. Yeah, it was same difference. Yeah, right. And I didn't. I think I may have had 150 on it. Maybe. I don't remember. I don't think I went much higher than 250 if I went at all. But you started talking to me about betting, and by that time we're already into the trend betting. The numbers were being hit, the numbers were out there, and you kind of coached me along with that, and I made out very well during that hand. And when I say very well, I mean what I colored up. In for 1 and out for 4 times that is sweet. So to make $3,100 on a roll is really, really nice. But you left. And you went over to the crapless, and you had a good hand, and I came over, and we both had bad hands, and then 10 Ton was back from his mile and a half, and we went and had a drink. But
we went to the bar.
Question for you: when you're with people at the table, and you see that going on, or maybe you're standing back like you were on this one, and you weren't playing. I mean, I thought it was nice what you were telling me, because I was initially talking with you guys, so I missed a lot of pressing. Because I really was waiting for the hand to be over with so we could go do whatever we're going to do. But do you go up to the table when you see somebody? Let's just say it's John Smith, and John, and you're watching him, and he's not betting. Do you actually help people along at the table like that if you know them?
If I know them, I might say something, but I mean it's just my thoughts on what they should be. It's their money. It's not mine. It's easy for me to bet somebody else's money. So, it's up to them. But yeah, I'll say something.
Yeah,
it's
nice
because they're a listener. They don't.
Well, some people are very timid with their money, and this is one of the things I was talking about. They worry about what's on the table. And losing what's on the table, and that used to be one of my fears, and it's no longer my fear. I don't worry about it, but because most of the time, if you have it pressed up, it's pressed up with winnings anyway, and you've covered your hand, and you're back into the winning side of the hand. But the bets themselves, the way that I was betting, had I been betting the way I should have, which I think is what you were trying to tell me, that. I could have made a lot more money on that hand.
Oh yeah. You could have made another $3,000 or $4,000 probably just on that number.
And it's one of those hands that you kind of like wait for. You just kind of just you don't. I'm always on timing when I miss it. Like I'll either come up to the table after somebody says, "Oh man, you just missed it." The guy went on a 45-minute hour roll, may hit the ATS and all this kind of stuff, and then they color up and people leave, and that's why the table's open. Or with me, I've already finished my session, decide to leave, and come back, and I have Clay tell me, "Oh, you missed it. Ted did this," and you kind of hate those things. It's always about timing. I had 2 good timing sessions in Vegas. As you know, I played at the at the Palace Station private table that John Kokas from Pro Craps had arranged for the Craps for the Cure, and it's over on Ryan's channel, Mark the Point. He put it out last week, and you can't tell who it is, and I don't think they mention it because you hear Old Spice, as you call him, Craig and Ryan talking, but that's me in that hand after Jen shoots that went on a 45-minute roll and a 30-something, high 30, low 40 roll. So I was there in Vegas for that roll and this guy's roll, and it made a world of difference in not only paying for my trip, but coming home, nice on the positive side for the bankroll for the next one.
I watched a good little bit of that. I think I even watched some of it. It's either yesterday or today. And I may have to do a reaction to that, but it's so long.
It
the video
is
so long.
Oh.
And now here's what everybody kept saying afterwards. They kept saying, well, the dealers were so slow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And all right, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't see a slow dealer. I saw a bunch of late bets and a whole bunch of prop bets slowing that game down. That's what I saw. I didn't see a dealer miss a bet. I saw a bunch of experienced players out there taking forever to make a damn bet's what I saw.
Yeah, and it was aggravating. There was a lot of late bets. There was a lot of late prop bets. One guy to my right was always throwing in, I want to say an $8 or a $12 something in the center action, not a horn because it was on the $4 rotation, but he was doing something else. So it'd been nice if he just said, here's an $8 horn. That's easy to calculate. But he was, 2 here and 10 there and so forth. And it was like, dice are out, and here he threw the chips in, and
do you know how many rolls that was in that how long was it? 40 something minutes, right?
Yeah, Jen had it, and it was in the 30s. I don't think it reached the 40s. I know when we were down in May with you,
right,
I
so
had
that's less than one roll a minute. That's less than one roll a minute. So you tell me who was slow. Was it the dealers, or was it all the dumbasses standing around with their hands in the bowl, leaning on the table?
I didn't want to say that, but I know.
I'll say anything. I ain't scared to say what's on my mind. I mean, we're all here to learn. If we're not here to learn, you need to go watch somebody that's got a damn podcast going on another channel right now, steal shit from people. So
we talked about that early. Let's
you
say
get me fired up. You gonna get me fired up? And I ain't even been on the air 20 minutes, dude. God. Let's finish
Which one
do you want me to go off on first? Which one do you want me to go off on first?
Well, I guess, can we look for a future reaction video to that? That was a question.
It's painful. It's painful. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's so damn painful to go back through it. I got to figure out how to speed it up on the broadcast just so I can get through it. With it. All right, look, 40-something minute toss, 30 toss, 1 a minute. That is nowhere near what a casino wants. That's nowhere near what it should be. And people throwing in bets, making it drag on and drag on and drag on.
Well, it did, and it was frustrating to me because multiple times the dice were pushed out, and the guy, of course, I'm right hook, front hook, which I'm never there, and I'm throwing a 6-4, 6-5 the entire time. That's the dice that I was throwing across the pass line over the beginning of the prop bets and into the right, the left front hook. And occasionally there were hands there. Dice almost hit somebody a couple of times, but that's where I was throwing the dice. And to be honest with you, if you take a look at that roll and you watch the dice scatter, that's all they were doing was scattering. I'm not saying I didn't have some good landing zones and consistency, but with the dice scattering the way they were, it was just one of those rolls that the 7 never showed. And if I was doing any type of influence, I bet it was less than 10% of those rolls that I threw. And if you watch it, I had several multiple come out sevens after hitting a point. I went, it was, reset the ATS. All right, boom. So 7 on a come out winner, front line winner, reset the ATS. That took some time too.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. Like I say, there was a lot of things that slowed that hand down a lot.
But it was fun.
A lot of things. Yeah.
I was in for 5 and out for 1900.
I'd have been down there blocking for you if I'd have been on that table.
Well, you know what? I'm surprised you didn't mention, because you would have picked this up. On the end where the camera was, how many big bets did you see on the table? Not many.
Not many at all.
I was the only one with black chips at our end, and there were a couple people that had, double stacked green chips. But, we're there to have fun. You got 9 or 10, 12, whatever it was. YouTubers around a table. They're recording, something that John set up. It was really nice. I had fun. I was talking to Jen on one side, and I got to talk to the gentleman from Dice Data on my other side, John on the side of him. So it was a fun time, and I wasn't pressing nearly enough. But to take 500 to 1900 after tips, that's a good session.
That is a good session.
Yeah.
It's a good session. Yeah. I hope you went to the cage right after that.
I did, because I had my girlfriend with me, and she and I said, it's like you said a minute ago, hold my beer and I'll be right back. Well, in this case, I said, let me just shoot the dice once. Won't be long. Well, 45 minutes later, and she had to wait for Jen and the other gentleman that was throwing the late bets out. I forgot his name. I had to wait for those two. So, it was an hour and a half before we actually got out of there if we got to the cage. But we had a good time. Yeah. I had a big Uber bill. That's 6 days I was in Vegas. I can tell you that. Big Uber bill.
Uber will tear you up, but not near as bad as some of them cab rides I took the other day. Ooh, mercy.
Well, you hooked me up on the way back with somebody. We won't talk too much about it, but that gentleman was really nice. We had a couple things in common. Not going to talk about it, but it was after you got out of the car. We talked about and we had a good time.
Always helps to have your own personal Uber driver.
Yeah, that was nice, and he was a nice guy, and he got a nice tip, and the thing coming from underneath Caesars to go back around and get over to Planet Hollywood, the way that you have to drive, and the way that you have to get there. I mean, from Caesars to Planet Hollywood, we probably could have got out and walked by the time it took him to get us around.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, but we didn't. But in
any event, about 4,000 steps.
I don't know about 4,000. It would have been some. I tell you what,
it's a lot, dude. I did a lot of steps. I had 2 days that weekend where I had over 20,000 steps.
I was getting ready to say, I think I told you when we walked from Planet Hollywood to the Sphere for the show, I had 18,000 steps that day, and we walked from there to about midway where the Horseshoe is. They've got that new, I'll call it looks like a street between Horseshoe and whatever the next casino is. And we stopped at a little Mexican restaurant there and had a really good lunch, and then continued on and walked the rest of the way. But on the way back, we took an Uber.
I don't blame you. We walked back from the Sphere after the Eagles concert.
Yeah, you lucky duck. I really wish I'd gone. I had an opportunity to get not your seats, but get some seats at a reasonable price. But we went to the one show, so it was all right.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Here's a question off your channel. Let's see. Pete 1969 says, "Gentlemen, is it okay to buy in during the middle of a roll if a shooter has just made a point and the puck is off?" I say yes. Ed, what do you say?
That is considered proper etiquette. Personally, I still think it slows it down. So I think you need to pick your spots on that. How many points have they made? Look up there at the ATS, see how many are repeater bet. Look at all that. But to answer his question, yes, it's okay. But I still think you can use discretion on whether or not you really want to buy in and interrupt the flow of the table.
Yeah,
nobody's going to bitch at you for doing it when the puck's off.
Sometimes I have friends just hand me a couple green chips, and the casino hates that because they don't want to do that. And sometimes in some casinos in the AC they won't allow you to play. But what I say, if I see somebody else do it and I haven't bought in yet, I'm jumping in too, because if they're going to slow the game down on one end, I'll slow it down on my end too. I mean, that's
Well, you know, Kent's got a good response there. Just throw in $100 and say, give me 96 across and $4 hard ways for the crew. Something
Yep.
like that. You don't interrupt nothing. They can cut
Yep.
it right out and put it.
well, I mean, it's I mean, to answer the question, and if anybody else has a question, I put it in here just a little while ago. Put a capital
Yeah, and if
Q.
you want to join us, we would
Yeah.
love to have you live with us.
Yeah, I need to
Send,
put that.
send Jeff an email.
Yeah, I'm going to do that right
Send Jeff
now.
an email.
Here's my email address. It is if I can type right. Can't spell. Yeah, there you go. Send me email to that right there, and we certainly can get you on. I need to monitor that too, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I don't know if anybody even sent us something yet. No, they haven't yet.
Yeah,
So,
if you'd like to join us, come on in. Send Jeff an email. We'll bring you right on in.
and you don't have to show your face. I mean, you know, we got two ugly mugs on this one, so you know whether you can't be any worse than the way that we look. From a traveling plane thing, you went to Vegas twice.
Yes.
Vegas,
In a
Biloxi.
short period of time.
You know, you're 5 hours from Biloxi. I don't know how long it takes you to fly out of Birmingham to get to Vegas, but you know, driving 5 hours, flying. I know you enjoyed the
Flight's
experience.
4 hours. The flight is 4 hours away, and I would rather go to Biloxi. I'd rather drive, but I couldn't. I mean, that's what we were doing. So I wanted to go support the Craps with the Cure thing as best I could, and then obviously we have our Dice Influence event twice a year there. So just happened to be close. I mean, I was home 10 days and got on a plane and went straight back.
Yeah, and I knew that you had done that. Somehow, Ed, I lost your side of the chat. Hopefully, it'll come back here soon.
I see Cadillac Jack.
Yeah, it just locked up a second. I have to wait for it to unlock. I just hope that the computer doesn't reboot on me here because it's doing funky things anyway. But we'll continue with the show.
Okay.
Looking like that's staying up there. Let me see if I can get Luz to come down. Yeah, I can. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the system, but we'll continue. So I can't display the show just yet. The series of classes that you have coming up. That's what I was going to go to and let you talk while I try to fix this on my end. And maybe I'll go ahead and do that. So for those of you that don't know, Ed, tell us a little bit about the experience, and there are some dates for you to talk about, and then we'll talk about the Brownwater Bash as well.
All right, so January, we're starting our first Biloxi Dice Influence event. Saturday is already claimed, January 17th. We have 3 spots left. This is as of last night before last. I got these numbers from Bo. So we've got 5 attending already in January on Sunday. So we've got 3 slots left for that. March 7th and 8th, Saturday is already filled, and we only have 1 slot left for Vegas. July in Biloxi is the wide open availability one. We've got 4 signed up for Saturday, none for Sunday yet. And then you look out a year from now, Jeff. 1 year from this month, we already have 6 enrolled for.
I saw that.
October 3rd. October. He's got 08, but that's October. That's got the wrong dates on it. But it's October 3rd and 4th of next year.
Yeah, I took that off the Casino Tears Facebook page.
Yeah, that would be. I got that from Bo, and I didn't just now proofread it. So there you go. But
Yeah.
it's October 3rd and 4th. We already got 6 on Saturday, so we're like 60% claimed. If you're interested in that, you need to get a hold of, Bo Parker, Dice Coach. Contact him through his website, call him on his cell phone, and get your name on the list. He does not collect your money that far in advance, folks. The money is collected about 45 days prior to the event. That gives us time in case somebody can't make it or needs to reschedule. That gives us time to bring in people off the waiting list, which we will start building. So it's It's going well. I mean, the deal in Biloxi is going to be the same format, but it's going to be different because it's going to be in the South instead of sitting there on the Strip. But we've got a antique Binion's horseshoe leg table to do our instruction on. And believe it or not, I know where 2 more are right this minute, sitting in a storage unit in Las Vegas.
Wow, nice. Well, I mean, overall, the experience has been well received, and as you said, the amount of attention that you get from the classes itself. I mean, it's the people like Lou. He loved the class. And
and we take everybody's criticism from it. We ask them to critique us. We ask for what would we improve. There's some things I don't know that we can ever do that would be nice to do, but we'll see. But one of the ideas, I don't remember if it was Lou or somebody else, they gave us the idea of split the class up. We decided to split the class up in the mornings so that, people have a tendency to just drift off or go get bored or whatever. So if you're only working with 4 and 4, then everybody's involved. And so we went to that format. That gives me about 2 hours with each group of 4. That first thing that morning, Bo and 10 Ton are working with the other group of 4 on betting strategies and so forth, reading the table. And then we have a whole different lineup of things we do in the afternoon as a group. So, not to mention the cocktail party is fabulous.
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
The Friday night meet and greet cocktail party is fantastic. And then, yes, he's right. We're going to have it at the Back Bay Biloxi Boys and Girls Club on the back bay of the beach or back bay of Biloxi there. So, lunch, man, lunch is there. We eat at Taco Madera, I think is the name of it, something like that, right there at the Aria. And then we're actually going to bring in Mary Mahoney's to eat at the location because we are in a private home and giving those classes. So we're going to have Mary Mahoney, one of the oldest restaurants in the world, like 3rd or 4th generation, I think. So not going to beat that food that's coming in. So great lunch. Then we'll go play at night.
That's what I was getting to, the playing part. You play at night, and in the first January experience, are you going to say anything about maybe Thursday or Friday, or am I not supposed to say that?
Well, I would like to be able to do some one-on-one instruction. I know that's what you're talking about, little tune-up classes, that kind of thing. That's probably going to get pushed to the Brown Water Bash weekend. I mean, since this is our first one, we got a lot to cover, and I'm in charge of having to get everything done. So if it doesn't work right, it's going to be my fault, and I don't want it to be my fault.
Right. So speaking of the Brown Water Bash, this is the only way I can display it. They can hear us. Go ahead and talk about that.
Brown Water Bash, Biloxi, Mississippi will be in May. Again, that's just a group gathering like we've had for the last 3 years. You use your own comps. You use your own transportation. It's just to show up, have fun, drink some brown water, and play some craps. The only thing I can say for sure is I don't know the location yet, whereas in the past it's always been at the Hard Rock. My host is no longer at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, we learned that last week.
And she and I have talked, and she may end up somewhere else. And if she does, I will give them an opportunity to let me decide which place I want.
Yeah, I would follow her. She was great, a wonderful person. She treated me well for 3 years, or 2 of the years. She wasn't the host the first time. I'm back with my host the first year. Nothing against her. I don't want to mention any names, but nothing against her. But that's who they put me back with.
Yeah, so with her being gone, it's going to make a little different. I'm afraid it's going to make it different. Now it might not, but we'll see. We'll see what Hard Rock's got to say, and we'll see if she's somewhere else what they've got to say.
So when's your next trip? I mean, you don't have to say like exactly when, but are you planning to travel anywhere? I mean, I am. I'm just curious if you were.
I'll probably be somewhere before the end of the month.
I'm not going over that time period. I am not going to go then, but I am going back.
I usually go to Biloxi on New Year's Eve. During that week, my anniversary's in, and I got they usually treat us well for New Year's Eve. That's assuming I get an invite, because it's an invite only on New Year's Eve. So if I don't, then they'll probably never set foot in the place again.
I'm this close to hitting the next tier with the Caesars group, so I have to go back. I don't have any choice. I can get that. It's like when I left Vegas. Oh, come on, really? 342 tier credit points away from the next level. Just
really, that's all.
That's it. And had I known,
you don't even need a multiplier.
No, I don't. Had I known, Ed, I would have. But as you know, we kind of left a day early due to a family emergency back here with my girlfriend's father, who unfortunately passed away a few days later.
Right.
But that's beside the point. But we had a good time.
It was nice to meet her, though.
Yeah, finally. You had heard a lot about her. Probably not all good things. I'm only kidding, just kidding. Yes, but you had heard a lot about her. Probably she could tell you a lot of bad things about me.
I'm gonna say, I don't know if you can see Pete. I don't know if you can see Pete, but Pete there's got a question. And
there it
Pete,
is.
You're perfect. You're perfect. You are perfect.
I was on the ball. I was ready to go there.
To fix. But yeah, it's we have all levels. We try our best to group them, like a little more experience, less experience, that kind of thing. But you can't always do that, because somebody demands a Saturday or somebody demands a Sunday, and that's what they want, just from travel standpoint and that kind of thing. A lot of people will be driving into Biloxi, though. I think a lot of the southern people will just drive on into Biloxi. So get in on that Sunday class if you're not already booked up. But I think that Pete, you'd be perfect. I think you'd enjoy it, and I really believe you'd get something out of it.
Well, there were a couple people that I know that weren't that experienced. I think that's the question. Should I come if I'm not that experienced? Understanding the game and the number of bets that you can make is definitely beneficial. Don't come if you don't understand the bets. But if you understand the game and what the odds are on each point or each place bet, that's good. But after that, the stuff that I've learned from you, Ed, that I didn't have to pay for, maybe except for a couple late night drinks, but the things that I've learned from you and a few others, is priceless. And I know that you teach much more in that 8-hour session, and you have such an atmosphere.
We do a lot of reading the table work as a group, and I don't know, we're kind of breaking.
Yep, I am. Here we go. We're back. There we go. We're back. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened.
I don't either.
I had anyway, guys. We're back. We lost it for about maybe 45, 50 seconds, and you said hello to Sweet Rolls. Let me put that.
Yeah,
up there.
I saw Sweet Rolls is up. That's the lady. 26 rolls, 10 sixes. Boom. She was fine.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and I understand. I'll get to meet her in May, because if I remember, and somewhere along the line, I saw her Facebook post or something that said she was going to come to the Brownwater Bash in May.
I think that's her intent, and her husband plays as well. So all you guys out there, she's taking.
Yeah.
I was going to introduce her to one of my sons, but she's married.
Oh my. Well, I don't. There's not that many females in I guess in the craps community, I guess is what you could say. There's not a whole lot of females. I mean, it's always good to see somebody. And then see somebody that did as well as she did while you were doing down there.
She did fantastic. I mean, she was. I mean, we had all the students, all the people did great. But she was on fire, and she's full of personality. She had a good time, and we loved having her there.
Well, I'm glad that she was able to, you know, I say produce profit. Very.
She was able to use what she was taught and go in there and cut that table's throat. That's what you want.
Yep. Yep.
That's what you want.
Well, Ed, this is beyond questions you'd like to know. We've had a couple questions, and we'll be glad to field anything that has to do with the game of craps and maybe gambling in general. If you have a bankroll question, how we manage our chip rail, or how we bet, or something that you've experienced, by all means, give us a question. Use a capital Q, and I can see it come in, and it'll pin it, and I can display it. And if you'd like to join the show, it's Jeff at MidAtlanticCraps.com. They go over and check the email, just make sure nobody has.
We should get Sweet Rolls to dial in.
Yeah, Sweet Rolls, do that. Send me an email at Jeff at MidAtlanticCraps.com. I will send you a link. You need absolutely no software on your device. Computer, if you have a computer, please have headphones. If you're using your phone, you won't need it, or a tablet, you won't need to have headphones, but I would be glad to have somebody come on. And if you don't
I
want
would
to
love
show
to
your
get
face,
Sweet
it's okay.
Rolls.
It's okay.
Come on in here, Sweet Rolls. Dial in.
Yeah, let's see. We've got another question here. Wayne.
Sure.
Can you give us all the glimpses into the classes? Is this done on a private table at a casino with fake money, or home table with players and a chance to practice? Go ahead, Ed. You've already explained it, but go ahead and take that question.
Yeah, we've got tables in individual homes that we use to teach off of, and we may actually have two in Biloxi. We're not sure yet. It's a possibility. Anyway, we're going to have individually private tables. We don't practice or teach the classes in a casino, but we do have casino sessions later that evening with all of the attendees.
She says another day. Sweet Rolls does, but it's somebody else can come on.
She's probably got curlers in her hair or something. Don't
Remember that old TV commercial when we was in your hair? Oh my goodness!
Well, you were breaking up, so I only remember you saying commercial. That's all I could hear.
Oh well, I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I've got a good internet stream coming in, and I see what it's saying something here on the software here too, offering as well. I don't know what the problem is, but anyway, we'll continue. And Mark, there is no prize for my internet.
If we don't get it fixed soon, we'll just sign off, dude.
I'm trying to start it back up.
And you got me paused with my eyes half closed, and I look like I'm dozing off.
Yeah, well, I think we're back now, so don't doze off, because it looks like we're back now. Guys, I'm putting this in the chat right now. Ed and I stayed together the entire time when whatever happened with YouTube came down, and we don't know what happened with YouTube, but sorry about that. So hopefully you guys are back. Anyway, Ed, what I was saying, that you and I, we get together, we just do this little talk. We talk a little bit, concentrated on our past trips and the Casino Tears experience, soon to be the Biloxi experience, in Biloxi too. So anything that you want to say, if we can't get any questions.
Thank you to everybody that brought me brown water to Las Vegas, because I got a bunch of brown water, and I've got to. It's on its way here. I had to ship it back. I had to get 10 tons assistant there to box it back up safely and put it back in the UPS for me. So, well, thank you to guys. You know me. I love free brown water.
Well, I know you do. Because Lou and I gave you.
Yeah, that bottle's empty right up there too, but I still got the bottle.
Well,
but yeah, that's like that's one of the things I got to go do prior to January. I'll probably do it way before that, but I got to get the bar stocked up. We got a refrigerator, in the room. We're going to stock it up with waters and stuff, so everybody's got easy access to things before Mary Mahoney's comes in for lunch and all that. Rumor has it that Howard Rock and Roller's wife will be making an appearance there as well.
Oh, really? Now, there's some news. There's some breaking news. Wow. I mean, that's
she'll be there just to show. She's not going to be in the class, so she's not going to be doing any of that, but she'll probably be at the cocktail party.
Right. And this is in January or in May?
Yeah, January. Yeah. So what I'd like to do in May, which we were trying to talk about, is I'm going to try to put a calendar together Thursday, Friday, something like that. If somebody wants to do some one-on-one tune-ups, we can maybe get that done in advance of the Brown Water Bash weekend.
That's what we were talking about when we lost the signal the first time.
We totally lost signal. So
yep. I'm doing good now. I got 1 gig and 40 megs up, so I'm and no millisecond delay. So I'm good. I don't know what the problem was. You and I stay connected, but anyway. So you're going to do a tune-up, and I know what that is. Can you tell the folks basically what that consists of and how they can sign up or get in?
Well, I don't know how they're going to sign up yet. I'm still trying to figure all that out. I'm going to use Dice Coach's program, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, small groups, one individual, however somebody wants to do it, we'll do it. You know, if you got a couple people want to come in, there'll be a discount on that, but don't even ask me the pricing because I don't know. It'll be whatever. I'm just going to use whatever Bo does, basically.
No, and I'll put that up here. I'll put that up here again in the folks that want to see.
That'll be going on. Yeah. But if you want to get in on the Dice Coach Casino Tiers events for any of 2026, we got about 40% of the slots left open. Go ahead and claim them if you want to get on, because the way it looks right now, the easy get is July in Biloxi, and I don't know why that is, but I mean, Vegas is already just about taken, and for both of them. Well, March has 1 slot left, I think.
All right, we got a question coming from somebody that I can't remember if he was at the first Brown Water or you probably met him in July of 23 when you came up to Vegas. But David, that's Gypsy here, says, has Ed ever gambled in Vicksburg, a location for Southern Casino tour next spring? Have you ever been to Vicksburg?
I have, but it's been many, many, many years.
Oh.
I liked going. I like the history. So I went and did some of the historical things and went to the battle works and all that from the Civil War and that kind of thing, where Vicksburg was under siege by Grant for several weeks. And it was an interesting place to go to. And then they had several casinos then. I'm not sure they have as many now, but I don't know what the play is like. I mean, it's been 25 years since I've been to Vicksburg, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I remember correctly, I think now there's only I don't know how many casinos are there. I remember Bally's. I think Bally's has a property there. I don't know who else is there.
Penn Gaming. There may be a Caesars property there too.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about Caesars. Yeah.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think there's a Caesars property. There's 3 or 4 casinos at least, I guess. I don't know. Like I say, it's been a long time since I've been there.
Right. All right, so guys, we're gonna actually, it's coming up on an hour on the show, so we got about another 10 or 15 minutes before we're gonna get out of here, or sooner. If you have a question, please put it in a capital Q, and we got 40 people watching on your side of it, and I have 21 on my side. So, guys, if you have a question, please just put it up there. We're dual streaming on Roll2Win Craps and MidAtlantic Craps, and this is just Ed and me, just going beyond the Passline and having a conversation about some the game of craps and our experiences. We'd like to hear yours. If you want to join us, we still got time. Jeff at MidAtlanticCraps.com. I'll check the email one more time just to make sure we have somebody when we don't have somebody. So if you want to join the show, it's Jeff at MidAtlanticCraps.com, and I'd be glad to put you in on the show. Let's see here. Rock's telling him where he's going to be. So Ed, with the advent of electronic gaming, not necessarily, to include the Roll2Win, the stadium craps, the bubble craps, and now it looks like there's a lot of crapless bubble craps out there. Have you, I mean, I know you don't play that because you played a different game when I was down there in May. I'm not exactly sure what you played.
Well, that was Casino Wizard I was playing around with.
Yeah.
I sat down at the little what do they call it, where you throw in the shoebox. Stadium
Oh,
craps.
yeah, stadium
at
craps.
Harris.
Yeah, the tub.
And yeah, and then when I sat down and put my money in, I realized I was on the crapless table, so I couldn't bet the dark side on other people. But anyway, I was just killing some time. I did shoot one time.
I got a picture of that. I wish I had it up here. I have a
That was
picture of
from.
you.
Nah, you're talking about from Biloxi. I'm talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
when I was in.
Oh,
I'm talking about this
in-
last
in-
two
oh,
trips.
in
Last
Vegas.
trip, I went and that. Yeah.
Wow.
I was killing some time on one of my days.
Yeah.
I think I threw a 12 and a 2. Set the point as 3, threw a 12 and a 2, and something else, and then a 7. And then I took those winnings and went and put them in the little machine and got my cash back. So, man, I had so many repeater bets. Golly.
On the on the little tub thing.
No,
the
that whole
stadium
weekend. That week.
Oh, yeah,
that,
yeah,
that
yeah. You
last
told me
trip,
about that.
Good God,
Well,
I had so many.
I was actually getting ready to ask you a question.
The first night I threw the first night there, and I wasn't even going to play, and the dang table was wide open, and I can't resist that. And I hit the repeater bet on the 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 in one hand.
8, 9, 10. Oh wow, the repeater on the tall side, the
now,
uptown.
that takes 20 rolls just to do that.
Yeah, it does. Let's see. 1,
Then
2,
I
3,
then I
4, 5,
reset
6,
it.
7, 8,
I
9,
reset
10,
it on
11,
the
12.
timeout.
Yeah, I had to count. them.
So I had a freaking 30 something roller, 35, 40 roller probably right there. And then I colored up, and then I went up to played the repeater table up there at Planet Hollywood and hit 2 or 3 of those and colored up. And then I went back down, walked through Paris, went over to Bally's, Horseshoe, and
Right.
hit 2 or 3 repeaters on their table. I only played there once. Only played it at the Horseshoe once. They only got 3. The sad thing is they've only got 3 tables open at the Horseshoe now, or three tables period at the Horseshoe. 2 of them are 14 footers.
I did not go into the Valley or Horseshoe this past time, but I like that one that's in the center aisle. You come down the steps or over by the whatever you call that thing. It's that's the only one I've ever played on.
Yeah, they got a 12-footer on the end cap, and then they got 2 14-footers. That's all they got left. And that's sad. I mean, because you think of Horseshoe casinos, and here we think of that as being a lot of craps tables. But it's sad when they do stuff like that.
Right.
Really sad.
Here's a question: do either of you have any recent stories of getting heat at the table? Ask if I saw it firsthand at South Point a few weeks ago. I do. I have not had heat recently. The last time I got heat was at an independent casino in Delaware, and I was asked to hit the back wall, and then I was asked to hurry up my dice setting, which really wasn't that bad. It wasn't, and I don't consider that bad heat. That's the heat that I got, but I had some stories recently of some people that weren't hitting both dice hitting the back wall, and were also told to make sure they hit up in the diamonds and not at the rubber base at the wall. Ed, do you have any?
I got heat in my last trip to Vegas.
Where at?
Cosmopolitan.
Really?
Friday night. Yep.
Never played
Friday
there.
night,
Walk through it.
right after. Well, it was after the cocktail party, so there was some brown water involved in all of this with multiple people. But we left early enough so that I was like, okay, I was walking back down the strip trying to show 4 of the guys that were there. They're going to walk back next morning. Here's your landmarks. Here's how you get through and back up to where we're at there on the strip when we teach the class. And so I said, you come up right here to the Cosmopolitan, and then we're gonna turn right. So head towards Planet Hollywood. And one of the guys says, I've never been in Cosmopolitan, which was twist my arm. I'll go show you where we're at. So we went in. It's about 10:30 at night, I guess. And we walk in, go down the escalator, and I take them to where the tables are, and they're just looking around and everything. A lot of, it's a different type of vibe in that place. And there were 3 open tables and 3 full tables. The 3 full tables were $25 minimums, and the 3 open tables were $50 minimums. And those are very bouncy tables for anybody that don't know. And all of the MGM properties in Vegas, as best I can tell, and maybe even corporate, maybe a corporate thing everywhere, is they've got 5-row diamonds instead of the 7-row diamonds. So you got a bouncy table with 5-row diamonds, which is not optimum conditions for a DI at all. But the table was empty, and it was a $50 minimum table, and somebody said, Ed, see if you can get them down to 25. And so I pulled out a wad of money, and I said, looked at the box man, and I said, I got a group of 5 guys here. We want to play craps. Can you lower it to $25? And he just looks at me with deer eyes in the headlight, and I go, $25 going once, $25 going twice, $25 going 3 times, and I started putting my money back in my pocket, and he said, y'all buy in.
Sweet.
And so we got a $25 table. And so the stick man says, who's the oldest one out of the bunch? Well, of course, that's me. That's me. So I'm having a really nice little hand, and I'm throwing very, very softly, and my dice are low and soft, and they're trying to only hit. I'm just trying to hit the base of the rubber down there, keep them below those 5 diamonds, and it was working. And then Mr. Stickman says, "Sir, you've got to hit the wall harder." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Is that in your gaming manual somewhere you can pull out of your back pocket so I can see it? I need to know the definition of harder." And he said, "Sir, I know what you're trying to do. You've got to hit the wall harder, or I'm going to take the dice from you and pass them to the next guy." I said, "Give me a $25 hard 8. Two rows later, 44. Hard 8. So I looked at him. Now, I'm already feeling my oats because I hit that hard 8, right? And so I looked at him. I said, "You know, Stick, I really want to thank you for giving me some coaching advice on this table. I didn't realize that if I threw them harder, I'd hit hard ways. You helped me hit that hard 8. I appreciate it.
Wow.
And I would have bet that on you if you hadn't run your damn mouth at me." He looked at me, and I went, "Where are you from?" He had a European accent. So I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Serbia." I said,
Wow.
"I thought so." He said, "Why? Was it my accent?" And I said, "No, it was your hairline. You all got the same one. None."
You had not told me that story.
And my attendees are going nuts, because, there's already been a guy buying in during my roll, and then I'm having this jawing fest with this guy. About that time, he gets tapped out, and he's got to come deal for me. He's got to walk around and deal for me now. And I'm still throwing the dice, and I looked at him, and I said, "You know what, Serbian? I cannot give you a bet because you give me shit, so I'm not giving you a bet." And we continued. Everybody walked out. Everybody in our group walked away at different levels a winner. I think I made $400 something. We played.
How long were
We
you
played
there?
around. It was
Yeah.
an hour. There was an Asian gentleman with his escort came in. They bought in for $10,000 cash. That kind of slowed it down a little bit. One of our guys got heat from the next stick because he was trying to mimic my shot and not hitting the wall that hard. And the Asian guy had 25, 25, 25 on the ATS, and the guy was throwing a 6-2 set, and it landed about 8 inches from the wall, and for some reason they just absolutely stopped and did not move and landed on 12s, and that was the last number he needed for the tall. And so he got heat. But anyway, as soon as all that was done, we colored up, and I had a group huddle, and I said, here's a little debrief for you guys. You walked into an unfriendly environment. You walked in on a table that was not conducive to what we're trying to do, and you colored up and you walked away winners. And that's what you got to do right now every time. You got to walk away when you can get out of there.
Wow. Great story. Great story. Here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Here's a question
fun.
from Cadillac Jack. Wonder if they have any casinos in Biloxi with repeater or fire bets?
Stupid ass Harris tables do.
Do they really?
Yep.
I don't recall
They
that.
got the repeater. They got the repeater. They got the repeater and the ATS on the crapless. Go figure that one and try to bet it.
Yeah.
And the
Wow.
and the hard way all day bet. They got all that. And then one may just have the repeater and the ATS. I'm not. Who knows? They've at least got the repeater on one of them, on the crapless.
Well, Daniel wants to know, can you explain what the repeater bet actually is? He's in Delaware and hasn't seen anyone yet in the area. In Delaware, you won't find one, Daniel. There is no repeaters. There's no 3 casinos in Delaware. They don't have one. The Wilmington has the hot shooter or whatever that bet's called. Delaware Park is what it's called. There's a repeater in Atlantic City. I'm trying to remember. Somebody just told me that they just got it. And then in the Philadelphia area, I wish Chris was here. He might be able to tell us who has the repeaters. But can you explain, put that back up there, can you explain the repeater?
Well, the repeater bet is based on every number 2 through 12, excluding the 7, of course, that you can bet it that and you got to hit it one more than probability. So the easiest way to remember it is, for an aces, you got to hit it twice. For an ace deuce, you got to hit it 3 times, and then you just go right up to box numbers, 4,
Right.
5, 6. You got to hit 4. You got to hit 4 4s. You got to hit 5 5s or 6 6s. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all same way back on the other side. So you got to have 2 12s, 3 11s, etc. So, and they pay more and more and more per unit bet as you get to the center. 6 and 8s are the highest payouts.
Right.
Whatever that is, I don't remember off the top of my head because I don't play it anywhere but Vegas. My honest opinion is the 5 and 9 are the sweet spot on the repeater bet if you can throw 5 or 9s, because you got one less to hit and you can get paid pretty good on it. And I was betting $50 on the repeaters. I was betting $5 on all the repeaters the whole time I was there. Every single time I was on a repeater bet, I was betting $50 on the repeaters.
Wow.
A lot of people do it for $1. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you bet for what you want to bet it for. And there were sometimes I would bet it. When I was shooting, it was always $50. Now, sometimes I would bet 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12 on some people. Because Gene Krupnick, I did that on him. And he and I played one morning there and at Paris, and he hit 3 repeaters, including an 8. So I got paid on 2 of them, but he hit the 8 repeater as well. He, for example, will bet the 2, 6, 8, and 12. Go figure. So, it's whatever you think you can hit, or whatever your favorite numbers are, or whatever you want to do. So, but it's always one more than probability to get the payday.
Well,
And you can lay them.
Well, here on the East Coast,
lock in a win.
they are hard to find. Here's another question that I guess I heard you talking about the 5 versus the 7 diamond rule. So EF wants to know, are the 5-row diamond bigger diamonds?
Yeah, if
you
you'll
explain
imagine the same height on a 7-row, but it's only got 5. So those are bigger diamonds, and they'll mess with the angles are bigger. The dice don't respond the same on the 5-row as they do off a 7-row. So my recommendation, if you look and you notice you're on a 5-row diamond, is you got to keep them low, and you don't want to hit any higher than that first or second diamond. Preferably, you want them to just die at the wall.
Right. Well, that's my goal every time, to have them bounce into the wall. and die unless I'm throwing the actual drop shot where I just want them to just land and poof, stick. But you know, I'm not. I don't credit myself as being that consistent, and I don't practice enough. And that's one of the things you and I talked on the phone the other day.
We went to. I know Bellagio's got the 5-row diamonds. Obviously, the Cosmo does, and I know Aria does because I played Aria twice last weekend when I was there, and same shot as I was using at Cosmo, really. Low, soft, try to get them to die at the wall, but those places don't really sweat. I was surprised Cosmo was sweating it like they were. Maybe the guy just wanted to be nasty, but I enjoyed giving him some lip.
Well, I had a question that came in and went out of my head based on something that you had just said. What over the years at 5-7 rows? I mean, where do you see the difference or the transition to the 5s?
The 5s are old. If you look, that's old style pyramids, and I look at the 3 Binions tables that I know of that all have the original diamonds on them, and they all have 5-row diamonds. So it's what they started with, and they went to 7, or somebody decided to go with 7, at least on some some manufacturers. Who knows where the game's headed with that? They're going to switch anyway. I mean, they play with underlayments. They do all that stuff. They'll play with the diamonds too.
Well, they'll just mess with you all together. Because it's like, I think on the last show we were talking about the different various. No table was identical. I like a hard surface. I like the Planet Hollywood tables. I played there. I like Harrah's in Vegas. I hate Harrah's in Atlantic City, not because of specifically the table conditions, but the issues that I've had there with just the game itself. But I think most people prefer a hard table. Nobody likes the bouncy table, like up down on the Fremont Street. The Plaza is just probably one of the bounciest tables I think I've ever played at.
I can tell you that the private room table down there at the Virgin is the bounciest table. It's like playing on the moon. You don't want there. Don't ever go in there.
I have never been. I've never been there. Wow. All right, guys. If they have any questions, this is the last call for questions. Then we're gonna move on to the show, We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up here in just a little bit. Pete has another question. Pete's the questionnaire of the night. I think I just made that word up. I've heard Bo Parker or Gargoyle talk of dice with different pip settings on the dice. Can you explain this, and does it affect the DI? Are you talking about the pip set? I'm not sure if he's talking about AB dice or he's talking about...
That's it.
Is that it? The AB dice?
There's an A set and a B set, and the only difference is the angle of the 3s. Everything else is, there's nothing different other than on the B dice, the 3s are at an opposite angle as the A dice. So it doesn't change a darn thing unless you're throwing a 3V and it messes your head up a little bit, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change a thing other than some casinos do it just to keep people from swapping dice. I mean, they got all their reasons for it, but it doesn't change a thing.
Lou says here that Harris has the B dice, which they do. If I throw I throw a lot of 6s on top. So if I throw the 6-4, 6-5, or the 6-5, 6-4 at Harris versus at say Tropicana, the dice facing me. It becomes differently if I change the setup. So that's what you're talking about. If you throw a 3-1-3-5, it's the 3s, go angle out.
Yeah, they're they're different angles.
George from CIY told me that the B dice are really European dice. I've seen them down in the Bahamas at Harrah's. I don't know that I've ever seen them in Mississippi, but That's what I consider. I
You'll
have
see
a set
him.
of
You'll see
D-dice
him
here
in.
somewhere.
You'll see him in Tahoe.
I haven't been to
You'll see him
Tahoe
in Tahoe
in
sometimes.
20 years. Last time I bowled.
I met George C.Y. when I was in Vegas.
Yes, yeah, you did. He came
Sure
in
did.
for
Over at Big AZ's table.
Yep.
I
And you-
got
and you-
invited to go. I played with them for a minute.
You're actually going to show up on a video of Big AZ where he recorded it, or was live? You played on the live one.
That was
live.
live. That was
Yeah.
live. I didn't know it was live when I was playing, but it was live. You know,
Yeah.
I rolled like 5 times and 7'd out, and that was it.
I'm not sure where this
Yeah,
is. Ken.
Tornaga was on that table that night.
Oh, was he? Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Gate is empty now with no more tables. Golden Gate.
Downtown, owned by Mr. D.
Did
He
they
took
go
all the tables out.
Did they go electronic craps? Bubble craps?
I think he went 100%. No, I think they went all slots. They might have some bubble craps in there. I don't know. I think he went all
You know
slots
what?
in there.
I saw an article on some social media post. I think I read that. I think I did read that. Well, Ed, it's been over an hour. A little technical difficulties in between here, but once again, just us sitting here talking beyond the pass line. We say no chips left unturned, but occasionally, well, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to say what I was
You
going
did
to
a
say.
good job of cutting me off tonight when I was fixing to get on my high horse. I appreciate that.
Oh, what was that about? Let's go back to that. I don't remember what you're talking about. About the video?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, about the video.
No,
I think
well,
it was. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I like it when you speak your mind.
Well, let me say this. If you go back about 2 years, maybe even 3 years into my video catalog, you want me to stop?
No, I know what you're ready to say. Carry on. I did cut you off, and I apologize. Finish this statement because I want everybody to know.
I did a video called CPR. That stands for collect, press, and regress. I did not invent that. I did not invent the term. That came from an article that the math professor wrote back on early 2000s. Collect, press, regress. I'm strolling through YouTube this week, and Jeremy stole it and claims it as his own because he says, I, as in Jeremy, Jeremy, call this collect, press, regress. Bullshit. Give credit to the guy that wrote the damn article that you stole that shit from. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I just put that in Google, Ed. I got a video from 7 years ago done. I've got a video from 3 years ago, and then I got a video from 6 years ago. One is yours from 3 years ago, and then of course now I have the one for Color Up that comes up now. Wow.
Yeah.
I just Googled.
So it ain't new. That ain't a new term. That is not a new philosophy. That is not a new strategy. That shit's older than frickin' Jeremy, probably.
I mean, I used to play like that. I mean, I did. I mean, I would collect, and I would press somewhat, and I'm of the theory of the mathematical formula that according to MIT, the average roll was between 6 and 8. If you do the math to the point, it's 6. So I like to be out of the hand by the 6th roll. Now, that doesn't always happen, and hopefully I'm out by 5. But if you have a point hit in between or a couple craps numbers, it really screws up. And a lot of people, I bring my bets down to my minimum, what I'm willing to risk during the hand. Typically, it's 96, to 160, depending on how much my bankroll was for that time period.
Well, we got the 10-ton lockdown. We got the 10-ton lockdown in ladder. We got all kind of shit. But you know what? We can't invent nothing new. We can just rename it.
Well, I mean, and when you see all these YouTubers, don't get me on my high horse now, because you heard me say this. It's one of the reasons why I don't do as much as I used to do. Especially, I don't do strategies. I don't do systems because there's so many channels that are out there now. I just saw Arnell join us, and if you go to his Wednesday night live fantasy crap show, you'll see him stream all these channels, and they've just grown. He used to, when I was hosting Craps Chat, I would send Arnell a message, hey, let me see the latest, and he'd send them over, and we'd stream them and cut them at the bottom of the screen, scroll them through there. There's just so many people doing so many things. And these people that are claiming that it's their system, that they're the GOAT and that they've started something that works. Craps, that system was done before you even were born, if I could say that. And don't get me on my high horse talking about any crickets or anything, because you'll really get me pissed off, and I will get on my high horse. And I'm trying to be.
Let's talk about crickets.
When you can put out 6 or 7 videos a day based on whatever you want to play, Baccarat, I think he's even doing poker now. It just blows my mind that people are paying for stuff that right here on this show here, we're just talking about craps in general. Whether it's entertaining to you or not, Ed and I are just shooting in the breeze on beyond the Passline. But there are shows like that, and there's a couple new. I actually bookmarked a couple new craps shows that the production level is outstanding. I mean, higher than probably Jeremy's production level. And then what do you get? You get 66 inside. And then whether you press or you collect or whatever you do, call that the skill 66. But before skill 66, it was something else. So, kind of mixed up there, trying to keep my. Look at Joe. I thought I was the GOAT. Oh,
Joe is the GOAT.
Yeah, I got to meet him. I got to meet him in Vegas.
The first time I met him too. I think, didn't I meet Joe? Yeah, I met him.
I don't know if you did. I did. I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted to. Out of all the YouTubers that were there, I told Joe this. I wish I had more time to spend with him, and because Joe and I have talked on the phone multiple times. If you don't know who we're talking about Craps Master Journey Joe every morning, 9 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock his time. He's out there doing his thing. He's got so many strings of shows in a row that it's just incredible, and you can watch his dice tossing journey. How's that a plug for you, Joe? I'll send you the bill in the mail. Oh my goodness! Oh, look at this!
She's live every morning.
I didn't see Brian show up there.
Brian?
I even pinned it. Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Oh, look! I just mentioned 66. Look who shows up. Betting progression vary. What does it say? Betting progression vary. That doesn't.
It probably means vary.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Probably means vary. That doesn't mean it's new. That's correct.
Yeah. But yeah, it is.
Whatever you can do to remember it.
I like what Dr. S says, and Dr. S is he's the type of guy that likes to challenge. I know when he's in the YouTube chat, he challenges a lot of things that we do from our standpoint. But he's right. There is nothing that nobody's done for decades that you can call your own. Oh, let's see here. I got to go back over to some chats here because they all came in at one time. Any questions out there, guys? We're going to be calling the show here. So, yeah. But Ed, as this is like the third time in a row we've got this late in the show, and all of a sudden the viewership goes up, and we hate to cut it off.
That's because we start early and the West Coast is coming.
West Coast.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got
I can
40.
go longer if you want to. I can go longer. I'm okay
you got 40
if you
on your
want to.
side. Mine just crawled up to just under 30. I know people are switching back and forth. We're streaming on both sides, so it really doesn't matter. But if you have a question for Ed or me, or even some of the people that are in the chat, or you got a story, it's probably too late to come onto the show. But we take somebody, a Jeff at MidAtlanticCraps.com. I'll shoot you the key. You have no software. I don't want to do what we did on the first show, but
while you're waiting on questions to come in, let me tell you another story about last weekend when I was in Vegas. Can I do that?
Sure. We love story time. You saw what Lute said.
Oh, Mike Patterson, Carolina Reaper, dude. The guy killed Cherokee this weekend. Woo, he killed it. He was just in our class, and
cool.
He's a good guy. He's got a bright future in craps. But I was we had left the Palms, which was where we were shooting at as a group with our attendees to the dice experience. And I bummed a ride with 10 Ton and Bo. Bo was riding with him because Bo was staying at the Aria. I was going to just get out. My whole intent was I'm just bumming the ride. I'm just going to get out, and then I'm going to walk straight to Paris, and I'm going to go to bed. We pull up to the front door. Bo's getting out, and I'm getting out, and 10 Ton goes, Ed, you ought to walk inside and check the tables. Now, that was about 11:30 at night. I'm like, that's a great idea. I think I will. Come on, Bo, let's go look at the tables. So the table that I had always liked playing there was wide open. Nobody on it. Crapless table. $25 minimum. But Lord, they had changed the surface. They changed the surface. It's as bouncy as the rest of them now. It used to be firm. But I bought in. All right, I already bought in. $1,200 buy-in on the $25 crapless table. I had 555 on the ATS. And nobody, I mean, and it's just quick because there's nobody else on the table. I'm the only shooter. I got the dice. A couple people came up and made a few bets here and there, but I'm still the shooter. I'm always the shooter. So no big problem. I mean, I'm getting the dice back quick. Low toss. I'm aiming at about the 12, trying to get them to trickle into the wall. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't because it's really bouncy. I hit the small, and I just kept, then I reset it, and I went to quarters on the ATS because I had hit so many numbers. When I sevened out, I had a $250 10, I had a $500 5, and I had a $900 6. Now, you want to talk about, are you sweating the money that's on the table, or are you just glad to have the money in your rack? Ed was not sweating the table on money on the table because I had to hit those numbers a lot to get it there, and I have a lot of put money in my rack during my progressions. So I colored up after tokes $5,200. So that was a $4,000 win on one toss. I colored up immediately.
Wow.
That was a fun little quick nightcap right there, dude.
But you know, they don't come often enough, Ed.
I was on fire. I mean, I kid you not, dude. I had some bad runs on Friday, either Thursday or Friday, whenever I met up with Tony Leo. We had breakfast. We played a little bit. We run over and got on the table. I got on the table over there with Lauren from Big AZ. I didn't play well that day during the day, but other than that, sheesh, it seemed like my hands were just great. I had a 19 roller at Palms. I had a 20 roller at Palms with our group play. I mean, I'm like, I can't do it a lot better than that. And, and I told you about all those repeater bets I was killing. So, man,
yeah,
it was
but
fun.
it's like I said at the beginning of the show. This game is very fickle, and it's frustrating at times. It's rewarding at times. It's fun, but sometimes those like that. My experience in Vegas and your experience, you just said, it doesn't happen as often as we would like. And the reason why I emphasize that is because this game can be hard, and as you continue to play and learn from people who have experience, whether you're in the chat or listening to us two old farts in here talking about what's going on with us, we just trying to spread the.
But it's like this. It's like that last hand. I'd already I had $1,200. I had my $1,200 back in the rack, plus some profit. I'm playing with money I didn't bring with me. That's the whole point. I'm bringing with money that I did not put on the table. From there, It's lights out. For me, okay, not for y'all out there, but for me, when I'm at that point, it's pedal to the metal. I want to go to 5,000 on a number. I mean, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I hear you talk table max all the time. That might be a goal of yours, but it's sweet.
You don't get there very often, but when you do,
no.
I mean, it's been a long time since I hit a $6,000 six.
I tell people when people ask me how I play and why I'm betting higher or lower at times than I am. I always tell people when I first come to the table, I'm aggressive, and if I'm up, I always like to be aggressive. But I also like to take money off the table that wasn't mine, because when they say you're playing with house money, it's your once they push you those chips and you put them in the rail, it's your money. But you know what I'm saying, Ed? It's
that's why I call it you're playing with money you didn't bring with you.
Right. Do you play more aggressive when you're up? Say you're up $1,000, or even if you're up just like $300 or $400. Do you play more aggressive, or do you stay the same?
Of course. Yeah.
That's why I don't like.
I mean, let me say this. No, the answer is really and truly no. Now the difference is I continue with my progressions up, as opposed to throwing in an extra collect. Because if I'm down, or if I'm trying to get back to even, then I may be pulling in a collection here and there more often than I normally would. But if I'm up, then I'm going with my normal progressions, and I'm just because my normal progressions have some money in the rack built in, and it doesn't take me long to get to where I want to go if those numbers are hitting.
Yeah, I kind of agree with EF here that the super aggression is the winning way, and twice recently, not in Vegas with the experience I told you, but locally here when I played, it was aggressive, and then cold table, choppy table, hot table, whatever it is. I mean, the probabilities of the dice are what they are, but if you're at a table and like that person that was rolling in Vegas, let's use that example. He was rolling random, he was straight out, and I wasn't paying attention, and I should have bet more than what I did, but
So here's the problem. Will you go to house max on a random tosser? That's the big problem. Big question right there, right?
Well, it is a big question, because if you get that far, and I don't know what the max is, here on the East Coast, some of the smaller casinos and Indian casinos around the nation, the max is low. But if you get to that max, that bet is already, you got there from profit, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I was playing with a guy in Atlantic City this last trip I went, and we were having breakfast, and he argued with me because we're both 220-ish people inside, 330, 220-ish people inside, the way that I bet. And he said, well, why did you regress? I said, I took it down to 96. He said, why would you do that? I said, well, I mean, I hit a couple more box numbers, but, then the 7 came, and I was able to take off, $700 off the table, put 96 back out. I made, $21 more dollars 2 times before it went out, and I lost my 96. So, it's everybody. I don't care if you're strict on a system. I don't care if you're strict on a strategy. You play it 100% the entire time you're there. They deviate from that. They deviate because they're down in the rack, or maybe they're up in the rack and they want to become more aggressive. But they don't play whatever the latest and greatest, Santa Claus twist strategy. They don't play it 100% the entire time they're there, and that's why I don't like to talk about strategies.
I'll answer Cadillac Jack's question over here on my side real quick. He wanted to know if table max is 5,000, do they usually let you bet 6,000 on the 6 or 8? And the answer is normally yes. They will let you make a proper bet on the 5 or 6 or 8. Yeah. They will normally let you.
I put that up there. Sorry.
I mean, even if it's a $500 max table, they're going to let you go to 600 normally.
Yes.
On the 6 or 8. So, yeah. But if they don't, they don't. Just hit it.
I see Jen's joined us. Let me see. She put 2 things in here. Oops. Let me get rid of that one. I've gone to max bet on a single number on a random, but not a table max. And then she comes off. She says, I often think about Jeff saying that the winning way is to big and regress. No, bring more win. Yeah, bring more, win more is a slogan, and I truly believe in that. But it's not for everybody. I don't have deep pockets. Ed, you and I both play on a regular standard buy-in, although mine's grown. We're the same, but I just I'm not going to come we won't mention any names. 10 ton. We won't mention any names, but I'm not going to go and buy in for 5 or 7 or 10,000. That's just not me. Win more, bring more for me is higher starting bets. I think that's what Jen's talking about.
Nothing gives me more thrill, dude, than taking a $600 buy-in and turning it into $1,800 and going to the cage.
Which is what I did there at that. Jen, you missed it. We talked about the recording there at Palace Station.
That's fun to me. That's fun. That's low risk fun. I mean, I've got $300. I'm not even going to risk all that. And if I can turn that into $1,800, 3 times my buy-in, I am like happy. So, regressions are important for most people. I 100% support that concept, regardless of what your buy-in is and regardless of what your initial bets are. If you're betting, I've been doing a lot of 120 inside instead of 110 inside.
30 across each number.
Yeah. So, but a couple of hits and you can regress and go 66 or you can go 96 across, whatever you want to do at that point. After a couple of hits, you basically have just about recovered everything that you put out there on your own. So, I'll buy in with 1,200. I'll buy in with 3,000, whatever the case is. But I enjoy playing the lower numbers and trying to run that on up.
Well, you do
I'm
have
stubborn enough to think I can do it.
You do have that progression that you always do. I shouldn't say always. I mean, I played next to you, and I've seen you do it on people. I've seen you do it on random rollers and so forth. But you have a standard progression. When people talk about regression, there's no such thing as regression or whatever. I mean, if you're starting out 640 across, and I don't know how you can. I don't have those deep pockets, so I don't do that. But I am. I move from 66, or in Biloxi 76. Then I move to 110, and then 154 is a medium number. That's nice. And a lot of times you say, give me 154 inside. The way I say it is, give me 154 inside, 35 on the 5 and 9, 42 on the 6 and 8. You actually tell them that. And typically I hand them 155. So I say dollar change, typically. But, that progression of however you go, whether you go across all the way or inside, there is nothing wrong with regression. And what Jen was referring to is that, I'm going to start 330, and I'm going to be down to 160 or 110 or even 96 by the 6th row. And because 96 is the base amount I'm willing to lose on a shooter, if that makes sense. I don't know if that calculated
That's your
right.
base loss. That's your base loss, assuming you get there.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, there are many times, Ed, as you know, we can get screwed. Many times, back to back to back. We've been there. Yeah. And if you play it long enough, you're going to know that. I got a question I got on my side. Let me see what. Let me put this up here from Jen first. I'm testing the merits of just grabbing 2 or 3 numbers with $90 instead of spreading out on the opening bets. There's nothing wrong with testing that. I don't know if you're doing it in real time or you're doing it at home or on some type of game on a device. But there's a lot of times that, and I don't want to give it away, but I'm going 150 on the 5 and 9 and 210 on the 6 and 8. And it's easy because you can remove the black chips on the 5 and 9 and you're down to 50. And you can take the 210. And what I do is I tell them to bring it down, and I hand them $4, and I make it $102 on the 6 and the 8, and then from there I come down. And although that sounds confusing, when you do it enough, I have it in my head of what I'm doing. So I'm actually up now, Ed. To
So are the dealers good with those numbers?
I haven't done it enough. I'll say this. I'm scared, so I'm going back to where I was, but I've done it a couple times, and I've only been burnt once with it, but I haven't played it enough to do that. But it's nice because you got 150 on the 5 and 9. So hand me the black chips. That's all you got to say. Now I'm at my base, 220 or the $50 on the 5 and the 9, if that makes sense.
Well, one of my favorite little bets is a $60 6 or 8, and press
Oh,
it to
yeah.
120.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it hits, regress it back to either 60 or 90. I tend to go to 90 because I want a black chip if it hits again. But that's a quick. But you got to. What's the problem with that? Oh, you got to have 2 of those, right? You got to have 2 of them for that to work. But I like that play, 60 to 120, regress to 60. You put a lot of money right back in your rack real quick on 2 hits on a 6 or 8. And
True.
while they are the most commonly hit numbers, they're also paying you less per hit, right? So that's a way to get some money back quick, and then you can just go from there. If you're putting 120, let's see, 100. Let's see. Help me with my math here, Mr. Jeff. We got 120, pays 140. I'm putting 140 in my rack, and I'm regressing from one. So I'm putting $200 in my rack if I go back to 60.
Correct.
So if I do that, what does it matter what else I got? Right? I got 200. I can be at 90. I gotta say, just take me to 96, and I can't lose. But you got to have the 2 hits, right?
Right. No, I see what you're saying, but I don't wait for the hits. That's the whole thing about me. Roll 1 point set. Yep.
Roll one is regress. Roll 2 is regress. Roll 3 is I'm at base.
3 not necessarily. It's sweet when that works out, but what I'm looking at base is that this new 604 inside is something that I haven't got the balls to do it yet, to do it enough yet live.
But you start with 640. Do you start with 640?
$604 inside. No, the 4 and the 10 is a whole different game. Don't talk to me about 4 and 10. That's
you got more brass balls than I got, dude. I ain't never made that bet. I've never made that bet in my life.
155 and 9, 220, 6 and 8. Second roll, take the black chips off the 5 and 9, take 1 black chip off the 6 and 8. Either hand them $20 to make it a proper bet, like Jen said a minute ago. She said that that the actual, I think that's it. I don't know where she was. The 102 is a normal bet in Vegas. To bring that down, I like to have the white chips ready and just say, hand me the 6 and 8, keep 200, and I hand them $4. And it's just so smooth. And at that point, typically, Ed, I have $10 in my hand, and I'm giving them $6 across. You see what I'm saying? I'm not getting any change back.
Yeah.
So that's. I haven't perfected it yet, and I'm not going to say I invented it because you could change those numbers anywhere. But by roll 5 and 6, I'm either at 110 inside or 160 across, or I'm 96 across. It depends. And if I made money, I'm never coming down below 110 or 154. I'm ready to go up the hill. And if I break even, I didn't lose my 604 or 640, whatever you want to call it.
PSO hurts though, don't it?
Oh my God, does it hurt? Oh man, it can.
How do you recover? How do you when you get a PSO at 640 across? What's your recovery?
I don't know with that because I don't play that way. But at 330 across, I'm doing what I'm doing with 440 and then immediately down. And I don't expect to. That's what everybody says. I don't expect to recover whatever loss I just had. $300, $400, $500, $600 in a hand. I don't expect to get that in one hand. You can't make that up in the next hand. It'd be nice. Don't get me wrong.
It'd be nice to make it. It'd be nice to make it back in 3, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 3 is reasonable. I think that you have to go longer than that to expect that. And I know this is our show, but coming up on Tuesday night, G and I are going to have a show where we're going to be talking about regression. Recovery and regression. But here, what we're talking about is a very good question. How do you recover? The best way I can tell people once they say, oh my God, you just lost $330. What are you going to do? I'll get back $50, $60, $70 over the course of 10 shooters. I've got my money back. The problem is I don't have that profit on that end, but I've got my rail back to where I like to see it. And granted, there's times that you can't recover it, and you got to be honest with the people. You take a loss. I mean, if everybody here, it's in this chat or that plays this game, says they win every time, I'm gonna call BS because it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't. So.
No, it doesn't happen. But
Yep, it doesn't.
and so that's why I go from smaller to up instead of from bigger to down and all that, because it's just the way I play.
I've seen you make the $60 6 and 8 bets. I mean, I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
And I know on dark side on random players you go. There's a 6, 7, 8 you play. That's reasonable. So and lose right. A PSO is like losing that poker hand with a river with 2 outs. it happens.
I know nothing about poker, but
well, in this case, the very last card that comes out on the table, where they had 2 cards that could beat you, and one of them comes out, and he's exactly right. For those of you who don't play poker, I play poker a lot. Let me see. I don't know if I can read this because it's not going to show up right. This is from Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters. And hey there, Brian. Jeff's mentioned that the monster rolls to hit max bets are rare in event and good advice. Adrenaline players like to show off their heavy bets, but really don't make that much money. He's exactly right. Can you read the whole thing that's there? I can't.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, and he's exactly
they are
right.
rare. They are rare. I mean, but here's what I would say. You don't know when that's going to happen. You know that it's going to be rare, but it is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And so are you going to be in a position mentally and bankroll wise to take advantage of it when it happens? That ultimately is the question. So that's why I'm aggressive on 4 and 10s. That's the easiest way to get to house max. But
exactly. Yep.
I've been on tables when guys rolled 17, 18, 6s or 8s. And that's rare, but it happens.
It does happen.
And I've been on them more than once. I've been on tables. I mean,
well, I think the part that
I've seen 10 4s and 10 6s.
Let's talk about this thing that Brian just said. The adrenaline player.
Yeah.
You think about it. You're not. I know you're not.
That might be me. That might be me.
I don't think you're an adrenaline player because you're going to have a losing session at some point. The adrenaline player is there to bet whatever he's betting the same way, the same system the entire time, and hope that roll that you and I have talked about in this show happens while they're there. And they can't manage the bankroll. They can't manage that hand. And probably the adrenaline player, once he gets to, let's say, every bet paying 50 for 1. Let's just use that as an example. Or collecting a black. They don't go any higher. They just want to keep collecting black. They want to keep getting 50 for 1. When that 6 now has hit 10 times, and where would you be on a 10 times 6, Ed? How many times?
Be really close to 900. Be really close to 900.
That's what I'm saying. You drop the 10 for 5, and then you go from there. But in any event, that's good. That's a good conversation.
Yeah,
Actually,
here the thing is you've got to find a progression strategy that works for you, whatever it is. But we interviewed the guy that did the 107 rolls in Atlantic City on Casino Piers a while back, and the shooter was who we talked to. And he made, what did he make? I don't even remember. $8,000 on 107 freaking rolls?
40 grand.
There was 2 guys made $250,000 each off that roll, and I probably would have beat them had I been on that table.
See, that's true. You would have. And although I don't want to say cocky with my bets because that's not the word. I become more aggressive with my bets.
I would be begging. I would be finding ways to get more bets on a number. That's what I would be doing.
Until the max bet.
Once you're at max, where do I go? How can I get more number? How can I get more money on the table to win on the next roll?
Do you ask if they take put bets?
I would just say, give me a put bet, and they will tell me whether they will accept it or not.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't ask them. Say, I want a put bet.
But
$1,000 put bet, $5,000 odds.
30 years of playing, how many times
No, give me a
has that happened?
$5,000 six. Give me a $5,000 big 8 and a big 6. Even. I mean, my God. I mean, you got to find ways
to get money out there.
If whatever's on the table, you got to find a way. If they've got that big 6 and big 8, and you're already at house max, you got to put bet at $1,000 odds with a $1,000 put bet with $5,000 odds. Oh, let me have a $5,000 big 6. Let me have a $5,000 big 8.
Would you hop?
What are you going to do? Of course.
Interesting. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, dude, you're talking about 107 rolls here. We're not talking about a 30 roller. We're not talking about a 40 roller. We're talking about 107 rolls.
No, I mean,
And he's true. I like progressions, not regressions. But
you just said
100. You see it all the time. There's nice rolls, and some people make very little money, and they're happy that they made a little money. And some people make $3,000 or $4,000.
Saw that at the Palace Station roll I had. The big bettors were on our end of the table. The other end, it didn't have hardly any bets there. I mean,
you go back and freeze those video shots that I did from where we were shooting Sunday night, and on my end of the table, you're going to see, dude, we had dealer bet had pressed up to $100 on the floor. Dealers had pressed their own bets up to $100 starting from 5. Are you telling me that you can't make money on that shit? I mean, you've got to press that stuff up if you want to make money. But you need to also collect during the process, and that's what I do.
Yep. Looks like we got a conversation starting here. Probably a lot of people haven't heard of the put bet, but it's an interesting bet.
A put bet is basically a come bet, except you're putting it on the number
instead of waiting for the next rollout. Correct.
Yeah, it works just like a come bet, but
odds and all. Yep.
Not most big casinos will take them, but they may not. Some won't. So they will tell you you've got all the money on that number you're going to get. Then you just accept that and find another way.
I do like what Brian said before we got on the high horse of getting bets to the max the way you go. Is Ed is not an adrenaline player. Ed, you are a calculated bettor. You tend to agree with that?
I guess I don't know what I am, but I can remember back in August we were playing on the crapless table in Biloxi at Harrah's, and the guy was murdering 9s and 12s and some other numbers. But I mean, and he was pretty much a random guy. I mean, he was trying to set them. He was setting them. I watched him. He was setting them. He was hitting the same spot, more or less. Had more or less the same mechanics. He wasn't a real refined shooter, but at the same time, I'm sitting there with a $1,000 9, and I'm sitting there with a $1,000 12 before he 7'd out. Do I regret not regressing? In hindsight, you can say yes, but no, I don't, because I wouldn't have made the money I made had I not continued to press and collect as I went up. So I mean, it's not you build your collections in a process of your progressions.
See Jack's question there. Can you do come bets with max odds on a long roll like that? Can you have a place bet and a come bet?
On a 107 roller, you can do anything you want to, but you don't know you're going to have one of those, right? So, once you're maxed out, why do the come bet? Just go ahead and do the put bet.
Right.
You got a place bet for 6,000. You got a come bet with a $1,000 base and a $5,000 odds, right? Why not do that instead of a come bet?
No, if they allow it, if they actually allow the put bet.
If they allow it, if they don't allow it, do the come bet.
Yeah.
Do a $500 come bet, then max odds on it, and see what happens.
Right. Yep. VDT says I double up on come bets and place bets all the time, and I failed to display some of his chats. I was going to go back and catch them, but we got on this rant for the last 20 minutes. I wasn't able to put that up there because VDD said he had to put his kids in bed and he would love to come on the show. So maybe the next time we do this, we can have Vegas Dice Tripper, Vegas Day Tripper.
Love to
on the show. Yes, it would be. But yeah, that's I've seen people with the come bet and also place the number at the same time, but I've never seen it get to that table. I haven't been at a table when you've explained some of the things that you just said have happened, Ed, and I haven't played as long as extensively as you have, but
well, you can go back to like me and Lou were on a crapless table at the Cromwell about this time last year, and he was standing next to me and he was doing the normal things. He just emailed you, he said.
Yeah.
But I was explaining to Lou, okay, if this happens, and I would have the next bet in my hand, here's where I'm going. Every time. I mean, it was just automatic. It was just boom, boom, boom. And I wasn't shooting. It was a random girl shooting from the end, but she was killing numbers on a crapless table. So, in fact, Laura Tornaga was on that table. So, and who was in the chat earlier? I don't know if he still is, but he was there.
Yeah. I don't know. He hasn't chatted lately, but yeah.
We made good money.
Yeah. Oops, I got people texting me now. They probably want to join the show as well. Ed, do you want to have VDT come on, or do you want to wait for another show?
You can bring in anybody you want to, dude. I'll hang on for a little while longer.
All right, VDT. It's I'm sending you the key.
I'll pour another bourbon if I need
to. Let me get set up here too. So, Ed, we kind of got off because I had a question from Skill and Luck. He wanted to talk about betting dice side of it, but since we got VDT coming on, let's just stay on the betting side right now. Maybe we can come back to Dylan's question at a later time. Right now,
I don't know what his question was. You go ahead.
Well, I didn't want to put it up there because I think it's going to create a conversation. It talks about on-axis tossing.
I'm going to go over here and turn my fan on because it's getting warm in here.
All right, I can do that. While he's doing that, guys, I'm setting up for VDT to come and join us on the show, and we will bring him in just a few seconds. But I want to let you know, on Tuesday night, that's 2 nights from tonight, Gargoyle and I will be out with a recovery and regression system by viewer request, a show at 8:30 here on MidAtlantic Craps. So
is that this week or next week?
That's this Tuesday. This coming Tuesday is going to be the show. And since we're on that topic, while we're waiting for him to come in, Ed, did you do you have anything coming up on the Roll2Win or any of the other things that you may have going on?
I've really been a slacker. I've really been a slacker. I mean, I had a Tales from the Table with a lady called Pearl's Girl, which I did not know, and so that's out there from last week. I have recorded a couple of reaction videos, but I've got to edit them down, get the commercials out, and I got to beat on my good buddy the goat a little bit at some point.
Yeah, looks like VDT has joined us. It looks like he's going to be audio only. Are you here?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm not sure which. So, okay.
Yeah, I haven't displayed you on the screen yet, but we do hear you. It's dark, very dark.
Hello,
so
guys.
Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm all right. Staying alive.
So
good to have you. Good to have you on, VDT.
Hello, Ed. I know we almost had a conversation when I called Tenton one time, but yeah. How are you?
I'm good, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah.
So any sessions lately, VDT?
So I went twice in the past week and a half. I really shouldn't have. I forced a trip because I kept having to cancel my scheduled trips. And, for the first time, so ever since I started day tripping, I had not let a like 4 weeks went by without going back, and that was the longest I'd been away from Vegas. So I forced a trip, and because I didn't know when I would be back, I ended up just dumping a ridiculous amount of money. So licking my wounds now.
What, can you give us an idea of what you consider a ridiculous amount of money? I know what I would consider it, but I mean, is that 5 digits or?
Yeah, well into the 5 digits.
Yeah, that would hurt me bad.
Yeah, it was like 22 or 23,000.
Woo.
That's a big dump, my friend. That's a big dump.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing is, like, there were a couple decent runs, but because I didn't know when I would be back, I was just trying to force it. I already knew the day was shot. Some days you just feel it. You just know, like, you know what, today nothing's going right, but I just really try to force it. So, yeah.
What do you mean by force it? I guess is what.
No, like some days you just feel like, you just can't win, right? And it's better to just like walk away. And I also had plans to, okay, I started at Venetian, and the plan was to hit up, go end up at Bellagio eventually, but I just never left, right? Sometimes you got to pick up, leave, go somewhere else, start over, have that reset, get that little walk, get your blood flowing, whatever, right? Just to kind of take yourself out of that environment. But I just didn't. I got way too stubborn.
What do you think was the problem there? Was it just all mental? You just wanted to force the game instead of letting the game come to you? Yeah,
Because my very first roll of the day, I joined a. Now, I mean, everything's kind of a blur, but I might have been on an empty table, and I had a pretty good roll, right? I was, I needed a 2 and a 12 to hit the bonus. I had a couple, like decent number presses. And so when my roll ended, I was up I was in for 3,000. I was up like 1,500, right? Very good roll. So I thought, hey, okay, this is good. And then I kind of started, betting bigger, pressing harder, whatever. There are people joining the table now, but I just kept throwing the money, so.
Well, Jen actually said here, what was the issue? Did you overly press or no collect? And I didn't hear quite what you were saying in the middle while I was trying to set up the show for you to come on. I don't know if you answered that question or not.
So like, I mean, sometimes you just get smacked in the face, right? Like, you don't have to do anything when the dice just, cooperate. You have a bet out there, and just the dice just keep hitting your number for you. Sometimes you don't have to do a thing, right? And you just end up winning. Or like the one time I hit the ATS bonus in 14 rolls, like sometimes you can't even, dodge a win. Like, it just comes to you. Now, other times, like, you cannot force a win, but I was just betting bigger, harder, throwing down, like, parlaying all my hard ways, like twice, full parlays, but none of them was happening. And the fatal mistake was going to crapless when I was not rolling any extremes. So.
That hurts. When you can't roll extremes, you got to get off the table. I mean, if you throw a couple of sessions and if you throw a couple of hands and you haven't thrown extremes, you need to go back to the other table. Yeah,
because and everyone kind of knows, from my videos, when I'm on a crapless table, I don't start betting inside. I bet extremes and bet inward. But of course, when I'm on the crapless table, I'm smacking the 6s, 8s, 9s, right? It's like, I'm not on it yet. And after I hit him like 3 times, then I start betting it. But by then, it's kind of too late. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to bring
So,
down the mood. It's just, yeah, since you did ask, like,
well, no,
I
I mean,
no.
forced.
but you're bringing us reality, and you're
Yeah.
bringing us mistakes that we make, that people make during their toss. So,
Yeah. So, I
I
mean,
mean, so
the best runs, the best runs happen when I, don't put that pressure on myself and just, hey, I just want to play, have fun. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm catching a run here. And then I happen to look down at the rack and it's like, okay, I got money now. So,
well,
but this
I had a
time I
friend a
went with the
long time
mindset.
ago. I had a friend a long time ago, VDT, that was a pro, and he told me, he said, Ed, you're trying to make your money off of the bonus bets instead of the box numbers. And ever since then, I've realized he was right, and that the bonus is just that. It is a bonus. It's a fun bet. It's something it's fun to shoot for if you're a shooter. It's fun to try to snipe numbers if you think you have an advantage, but you've got to make your living on box numbers, and the bonus is only that, a bonus.
Yep.
Yep.
But, I know I hear you, yelling at Tenton all the time because, him and
Not
we've
lately. I
both
haven't I haven't
gone
yelled
there.
at him enough. I need to
Well,
yell at him more, I think.
actually, but you know what? I just had a call with him yesterday, and like he's come back down to earth in how he's been playing lately. So,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I gotta get on the same page with him now.
We have beat him up. Me and Dice Coach have beat his ass up over how he bets and trying to force a game instead of letting the game come to him. Yep. And
Yeah,
so I
yep,
would
yep.
I would say you're probably guilty of the same thing. Trying to force that game
Yeah.
into a position where you're looking for that big hit, and then all of a sudden, I still need that 11. I never hit it, or that 12, whatever it was. And there I was betting that, and then trying to worry about that. And I was betting big on other numbers instead of collecting when I needed to collect. So I don't know what your progression strategy is, but I would suggest to you and anybody listening is you've got to have a strategy in your progressions that puts money in your rack at least every other hit, and preferably every hit, unless you're going to power press. And there are a few power press moves that I do, but it always follows a collection. But on those extremes,
Mm,
there is no power press on the extremes as far as I'm concerned. On the extremes, on a crapless, you got to go up a unit every time you hit it. Then there comes a time when you may want to go up 2 units, whatever your units are. But going up a unit or 2 units still puts money in the rack. And so that's what I say you got to do on the crapless. You got to do that on the extremes if you're hitting them. But your problem is, as you just said, you're betting the extremes and you're hitting the insides. That's why I start out with the 3, 6, 8, and 11 and a field bet and see what I can do from there. Not saying that's for everybody, because I've had my ass burned on 3, 6, 8, and 11 plenty of times, but you gotta find a way that works for you so that you're not in the hole from the second toss.
yep.
So
Was
Skill
it?
and Luck asked a question. I don't know how you play it. How do you play? Skill and Luck says, in crapless, should we start inside or outside? How do you play it, VDT?
I start outside. I start extremes because the best bet on a crapless table are buying the extremes, right? But you have to hit it. So there's right? If it hits, great. You're off to a great start. You get a jump start, you can bet inside now, you can pressure extremes. But if you're not hitting the extremes, you got to get off the table.
So on a random person, I will bet 3, 6, 8, and 11 in a field bet. All right. So that's just what I do. because I feel like that gives me the best chance for some success. And if the hand continues, it's golden. All right. So, but
Yeah,
on
you're getting
myself, I will
exposure.
bet for myself, I will bet the 2, 3, 6, 8, 11, 12, and a field bet. And I will shoot for extremes on every toss, obviously, but I will cover that 5 pretty quick. But I'll go ahead and pick up the 4 and 10 probably first, then eventually the 5. And as always, I never have nothing on the 9 until I just have to put something on the 9, if ever. But I like, and you know, you've got to figure out how am I going to play it on myself, and then how am I going to play it on other people. And do I, as a shooter, have the likelihood of hitting the numbers I'm trying to bet? That's what you're looking for. Crapless is a tough game, but it was invented down here in the South, and we love it.
VDT, do you prefer crapless over a regular?
No, I mean, a lot of people ask me that. I'm 50-50. Again, crapless is great when you're hitting, right? But if you're not, like, everything gets accelerated. You could win fast, but you could also lose fast. So, you know, I recently said, you know what, I'm gonna scale back how much I play crapless, right? Because I was playing kind of 50-50 going back and forth, but I'm gonna try to play like more like 80% regular craps, maybe 20% crapless when I'm up, or you know, I find myself, you know, actually hitting extremes.
Do you dice set? I mean, or when you're rolling, is there a preferred method that you have, the set that you use?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, people call it the VDT set, my 4-1-5-1,
I just wanted you
and
to say
then
that. Yeah.
you know, and I have variations from it, right? Because it's like, but you know, I don't have a practice rig. I just kind of came to that set over, you know, time, just kind of, you know, from playing, and it was a combination of visual aesthetics, like just something that appealed to me visually, plus what I felt like I was getting good results with. But you know what? The more I dove into it, the more I listened to like your show, Ed, you know, 10 ton, whatever, like Gargoyle and Jeff, like on the dice tossing, I've actually just kind of reset everything, you know, because I mean, this is the most important thing I think everyone has to remember. You are basically a quarter turn away from a 7, right? You turn any combination a quarter turn, and basically you can make a 7. So you can be the best shooter in the world, but if that dice just tips over one more click, you 7 out. So, right?
That's a
That's why
dangerous set,
sometimes
right?
that's why a random shooter could give you 107 roll or whatever, right? And the best practice shooter with the most, you know, beautiful toss might have a .7 out. So
Well, there was another discussion when you were talking earlier about your loss there, and a couple of chats on both sides came in about the ATS. I remember watching your short when you hit the ATS for the first time with 100. So I mean,
never 100. It was always like 25 125.
okay.
I've come close to hitting it with 100, but yes,
I thought it was 111.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wish.
Well, you know, Jen asked the question. You know, do you do that on random shooters as well?
Only when I never start off betting that on anybody else. But let's say someone just hit the all, right? I'm pressing my bet. We're going round 2, right? So I'm willing to bet max if someone else just hit it. Why not, right? I'm playing with bonus money at that point. But
Right.
all the ones I've hit the all with the 100 on it 5 times this year, and all 5 of them I rolled myself.
Oh, wow. And do you find?
And
Go ahead.
go ahead, Jeff.
No, I'll let you finish your thought. Go ahead.
So the reason why I went so hard last week when I went back to Vegas after a week away was because my last trip out, I did hit a bonus with the 100 on it, right? So I left on a high note, and then I was just itching to get back to the tables, and I was, right, just especially because the first roll of the day was great. I thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it again, and that's why I went so hard.
We have another question here from Kent. Wants to know: do you change dice sets on crapless? I don't. Ed may, but do you always throw that 4-1-5-1?
Of course I do.
that question?
I typically start with my usual set, and then I will vary it. Right? Let's say all I'm getting is like inside numbers, then I'm gonna turn it. I typically will make it like a 4-5-5-4 or something like that, right? With the 6s inside, trying to see if the dice will kiss and like split up.
Right. Right. So Ed, you said you changed your set. We may have just lost the VDT. Not sure if his audio cut out, but do you change your set, Ed? You're back
on
now,
crapless.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do. I mean, it's like why would I throw an inside set numbers when I'm got an opportunity to make 3-1 or 6-1? So I'm going to try my best to hit outside numbers. Now, here's the thing: as a DI, and if you're a practiced and experienced DI, you're going to have a situation where let's just say your horn set is throwing 6 and 8s. You've got to recognize that. You've got to recognize that quick, and then maybe, just maybe, your 6 and 8 set will throw horns that day.
Right.
You got to give it a shot. So you got to change sets. You're trying to hit, because my rule is if I can't hit at least one extreme in 2 tosses, I'm on the wrong table today. So, and I mean today, whatever that day is, that night is. If I can't hit an extreme right now during this hand or the next hand, then I'm on the wrong table. I need to move, and I will color up, and I will go away to a regular table right there.
Oh, Ed, when you said 2 tosses, you mean 2 like go at it, not like 2 throws.
2 hands.
No, yeah,
Okay.
two hands.
I was about to say that you're not giving yourself a lot of leeway if you're only throwing twice. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm shooting for extremes. If I'm on a crapless table, of course I'm shooting for extremes, and I'm gonna use a set that quote unquote tends to give me extreme numbers. If I'm not hitting them, what am I getting? Okay, I'm getting inside numbers. Maybe, just maybe, my inside numbers set will give me outside. I will switch right then. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm an experienced DI, and I know my sets pretty freaking darn well, keeping the 7s in the same spot on the dice, but I can switch my sets midstream and not worry about whether or not it creates a higher probability of 7, because it does not when I change. If it was a 7 on this set, it was a 7 on the previous set. That's the way I look at it. So, you got to. I mean, that's the only reason to play crapless. That is the only reason to play crapless, because you're putting a lot of money out there. There's a lot of numbers to cover, and if you can't hit them, you're on the wrong table.
Well, I mean, I agree, Ed. You know me, I'm the crapless theory. I was always sort of gun shy until the last couple of years playing with you, specifically the only time I ever played crapless with you was at the Hard Rock, but we had that couple hands at Planet Hollywood a couple weeks ago, but we had no time on the table. But that one night that I think it was you, and I can't remember who was next to you, and I came 3 down from stick left. You were in the middle of a roll, and I hated to buy in midstream, and they
But
gave
you
me
did.
But no, that was when the puck went off. But no, I had somebody give me some money, and I threw some numbers out there on the 3 and 11 because you had just hit. I can't remember if you hit 2 or 3 11s or a combination of 11 and 12s, and I said I got to get out on this. I just somebody give me some money. But I did buy in after you hit a point. You're right. I did come in midstream.
Yeah, you got to play it. I mean, it's like my best sessions have been heavy on 12s. I've thrown 5 12s 3 times that I can remember, and that'll get you some money. I mean, you're going to be pressed up. I mean, the last time I threw 5 12s, I was thinking I'm going to be in house max in 3 throws or less. Here we go. I'm going for it.
So Skill wants to know, Ed, do you prefer the 2-1-2-1 or the 1-2-2-1?
I'm not sure I like either one of those. For me,
I've seen you throw a lot of 2-1-2-3s on the come out.
Yep.
I've seen you
2-1-2-3 is my old circus set. What I call my circus set. I named it after a long run I had at the circle with that set. So the 2-1-2-3 is. I had, in fact, shoot, dude, I hit the ATS with that set and at the Palms, to be honest with you. So, 2-1-2-3 is a good set for me, but I don't like 4 7s facing me very often.
No, I understand that. No. So, VDT, what is the latest with I mean, the production-wise on your videos, you were pretty hot and heavy out of there. I know you come and go. I know that one video you had where you were kind of like showing your timeline of getting into the airport and car, Vegas, and so forth. So, what can we look forward to?
Well, so I still have a couple older videos that I never put out, but at the same time, I'm not motivated to put them out because they're not particularly good sessions, right? But I've also haven't been going lately, so
I know that
I'm kind of torn, right? I'm kind of torn. Like, do I put out the footage I have, or do I wait? And now I didn't think that it was gonna take this long, but like it's been almost 2 whole months. So, and I always said it, like, I am not a YouTuber first. I've been gambling way before YouTube, and hopefully I'll still be gambling when YouTube is not even like a thought, right? So, I don't want it to get in my way, because it was at a certain point it was getting in my way because, right? I was like scheduling these sessions to get permission to film. I was doing live streams. I was, playing with some other people, and then I realized, like it's getting in the way of me just playing and doing what I want to do. So,
well, I noticed.
It's all up
I
in
know
the air
that
right now.
I know that you play with some other people, and from a standpoint of those other people, those other bigger YouTubers, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody because Bluffin' Bob's a nice guy, but
Give me a chance to talk about anybody.
Yeah, well, Bluffin' Bob and Jen put it in there that when we were talking about adrenaline players, he's just, I forgot exactly how she worded it. I have to go back and see it, but you've played with him, have you not, BDT?
Yeah, several times, many times, on and off camera.
Yeah. So, how would you consider your style of play versus his? And his is, I feel, is all YouTube driven, where yours is all money driven. It's all you go for the same reason Ed and I go, because you want to win money. You want to make a profit. You want to come home. Just recording it was just like a documentation of really what you were doing. And although you said a minute ago that some of the stuff you don't want to put out because it wasn't good sessions, I like it when people put out not so good sessions because it shows the reality of the actual game.
Oh yeah, you guys know I put out plenty of losing sessions. I'm not talking about that. It's just like the action. Like sometimes it's just boring. So it's like I'm not particularly motivated. Like even if I'm losing, but let's say we had an excitement of like, hey, we were one roll away from swinging it like $10,000 in the other way, right? That's exciting enough to want to put out. But regarding like, well, okay, so I'm sorry. Was the question like how he plays or like?
Your play compared to his is definitely different. Although you're playing with him, he's a well-known YouTuber, and he's a really nice guy in person. I mean, he really is. But oh
yeah, no.
I mean, your style of play is different than his.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone has their own comfort level, and right, and everyone's got their own opinion on, so. The most common like criticism I gotten on my videos is, oh, you should have regressed. Oh, you're always just press. You never collect. But you know what? If I didn't press, I wouldn't have the big wins either, right? I would miss out on the big wins. You don't know that the roll's gonna end until it ended. So like, what do you want me to do? And then my monster roll video from the M Resort, the biggest criticism there is like, oh, you barely won any money, right? Because that was one of the few times when I actually kind of slowed down, but they also don't really know that, like, that was at the end of a full day. I had already lost money at 2 different places, and I went to the end result because I had scheduled it. I didn't want to skip out on my appointment, right? I had scheduled the recording there, and I happened to catch a great roll. I forget, was it like 48 or 53 rolls or something, right? And the guy hit the ATS, and I was in for 5. I was down like 1,000 and change before he got the dice, and then I ended up cashing out like 13,000, right? But everyone's criticizing me for like, oh, not being aggressive enough. So it's like, you can't win. That's why, it's like, whatever, like I ended up winning for the day. I recovered what I had lost, and I was good. But you can't please anyone. So.
Well, no, I understand that. Most of your content is shorts anyway.
If you're playing for YouTube, you're playing for the wrong reason, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you're
trying to satisfy these dumbasses on YouTube that watch you,
but that's why I was not playing.
I mean, they want to see you either. They want to see you either blow it up and win $100,000 or lose $100,000. I mean, that's
win
what they
big or
want to
lose
see
big.
because they're dumbasses.
Yeah.
You cannot play for YouTube, EVT. You got to play for yourself.
Definitely. Oh yeah. No, that's why I brush it all off. It's like, hey, you know what? I was happy that I left with the win for the day, and I made a huge recovery. Right now, because you brought up like bluff, I played with them like several times for almost a year now, and even just over the times that I play with them, his play has changed a lot because his channel has grown so much. His income from his social media has grown so much. He cannot play normally anymore, and that's the struggle. And like he knows it. We talk about it, but he cannot go back down to playing like 135 across. Unfortunately, he can't do it.
Nope. And I'm glad that you actually made that point because that that people I guess we'll go back to Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters idea that, people are adrenaline players, and he although he appears to be one and he may be one, the content that he's produced now for such a long period of time, he's not going to get the viewership to promote or be able to keep his content the way it is and show winning and losing sessions. There are some channels out there that actually show daily sessions that are kind of boring for most people, but I like your content because most of the time it's in the content of a short or a very short video itself versus some live stream or some long form content. But we do appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us tonight?
No. I mean, it just happened that like you guys were still on. My kids went to bed, so it's like, hey, why not? Let's see if I can hop on and just chat it up a little bit. Especially because, yeah. I mean, I'm not proud of dropping so much money when I had a chance to walk like even, right? So. Yeah, I've been such an open book. I keep my win-loss like running tally, and I have it all in a spreadsheet, and I have a stupid website that someone's been managing for me with the chart, right? With the win-loss. Now it's a little too painful to look at, but my goal is like end the year with the win, and I was on an upswing until this last trip, so I have to regroup and go back with the don't put so much pressure on myself. Just play and just do what I've been doing.
I actually brought up your website here and looking at I guess the 2025 win.
Oh, don't look at it.
I'm looking at it. I mean, I won't put it on the screen here, but people can go there. I mean, they can Google and find the same thing I just did. And you're honest.
It's never been hitting. It's never been hitting.
Yeah, but you're honest.
But the thing is, I was on an upswing, and I had cut my losses in more than half, and I really had a shot at, getting back to positive territory. But I can't do that if I go with this mindset of like, feeling pressured and like, oh, I gotta hit a grand slam today. I gotta be happy with the singles and doubles and just stack smaller wins.
Absolutely, you do. Absolutely, you do.
Yep. No, I mean, I was not aware of the website. I mean, I'm aware of your other social media, Instagram, Facebook, so forth, but I was not aware of that website until you just said that. I don't know why I wasn't, but I just went there and saw it, and I was very impressed with the fact that you're telling it like it is. And if you play big, you can lose big, not win big, but you can lose big, and I like that. And to answer your question, K9, that's Vegas Day Tripper. VDT is what I call him. Vegas Day Tripper. That's who's talking with us right now. From the Vegas Day Tripper YouTube channel and many other social medias. Ed, any questions for VDT?
I don't really have a question, really, other than I hope you don't play for YouTube, because YouTube will burn your ass. You can never recoup your losses on a YouTube video, so be careful out there, dude. Be careful.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's why I haven't even been posting anything, and like I've been saying, like, if YouTube gets in the way of my gambling, I'm going to drop YouTube. And so hopefully, I'll get another little upswing, little positive run. But yeah, thanks for listening to my rants and raves and confessions, and, hopefully we can do it again.
Well,
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. I like your content, and for anybody that's looking for, I guess, K9 Anthony's a friend of mine from New York that asked who that was, and it's Vegas Day Tripper on all social media. His channel, his YouTube channel, actually has more subscribers than I do, and he's grown very fast, very quick. The content he puts out is mostly wins, but he has some losses. But if I'm looking at this website here, and I'm glad you actually showed that VDT, because that's keeping it real, and I think that that's the way it's got to be. And I don't. I'm one of the people, and Ed knows this. I don't believe in chip porn specifically for social media purposes, like during a YouTube show. But I don't like to say I won this amount or that amount. I do like to say occasionally during a session I did win this amount, but over my course of my trip, I don't like to report that because I kind of find that kind of private.
Dude, if you'll put chip porn out there and label it as such, the Russians will watch your channel.
I did not know that, but I don't like that. At the end of the year, I report, that I was up or down for the year, and I don't specifically say how much, but I actually do talk a lot about my losses and things that I did wrong during that session. And I don't play the way that VDT does. I certainly don't play a way that 10 Ton or Bob or any of the other, Vegas Matt, however those guys play. I don't play that way. My YouTube channel is for entertainment and educational purposes, and everybody has a niche, and VDT actually had filled a niche that was probably missing from a standpoint of craps, when other people were doing other gambling. But anyway, VDT, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Come back and see us any time that you want, and we look forward to that. I'm glad you came on. I know we touched base a few months ago on the phone, and because of health issues that were going on, I really couldn't talk to you, and I haven't talked to you since then, and I apologize for that.
No problem. Hey, I just want to say one more thing, so because it just reminded me. So like people who've watched my content know that originally I was just recording here and there, surreptitiously without permission, often at Venetian and Bellagio, and those videos were quote unquote better because I wasn't worried about like the recording. I was just playing and I happened to record it, right? So I happened to catch, I was typically recording when a session was already getting warmed up. So that's why those earlier videos tended to be like action packed. Now that like I'm scheduling a recording session, I'm trying to record while I'm playing, it's not the same, because you can't make action happen. You can't make the dice like get on fire, on command. So yeah, that's why I might just stop recording and just play.
Yeah, I have a recording from Atlantic City Casino, very similar to what you did. I probably recorded about 3 years ago, and I have never put it out because I was worried about what you saw in the background. Like when you did your videos, you were shading out the box person's face and the dealers, so forth, and that's one of the reasons why I never did that. But I did some recording very similar to yours, not nowhere near the quality of yours, but that's probably, let's see, my YouTube channel is going on 4 years, so it's been at least 3 years ago. But anyway, thanks for joining
Absolutely.
us. I'm glad you did.
Thanks for popping in. I'm glad somebody was brave enough to join in, and we appreciate that it was VDT tonight.
Yep. So thank you, VDT, and we appreciate you watching. Appreciate you always in the comments and in the chats, and hopefully you continue. And good luck with your venture. And I hope what I'm saying on this channel on this website turns around for you. And thanks for keeping it real, as many people are saying in the chat.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, you too.
You too, VDT. Thank you for joining us.
Take care. All right, Ed, that was interesting. Always nice to have somebody come on. That's how easy it is. You don't even have to show your face. We just kind of like just listen to you. But that was great. Ed, I like his content because the production level, recording, YouTube, craps, and that I don't have to put it together. But I know what he was saying in the beginning when he was secretly recording. It was the quality seemed to be better instead of him having to perform for the content. It is very different. So anyway. Thumbs up.
Totally different at that point. And so I give him an A for effort. I appreciate what he does. I don't get to watch all of them. I mean, shit, I can't watch everybody on YouTube. I don't even watch myself. So I can't even record. I can't even get myself, invigorated enough to go record some stuff. Sometimes it gets just, sometimes you're into it, and when you're not into it, it takes a while to get back into it. So
Yeah, and
YouTube
there's
is tough after a while.
I think somebody put in the chat earlier, and I'm not exactly sure who it was, that when you have a bad session, it makes you want to quit the game, and if you can't control your impulses, and you're losing the amount of money that you can't afford to, you have no business playing this game, let alone gambling at all. And there's my plug for reasonable gambling.
This is a fun game and it's a tough game. It's both. I think being a tough game is what makes it fun, in a way.
Yes.
Or at least a challenge. I like a good challenge, and craps is the best challenge in the casino.
I think it is. I started out as a poker player gambling, and I don't play slots. The only time you see me do slots is on a cruise, when I might put a couple $20 bills in a slot machine just to kill some time. I never play roulette unless I'm on a cruise, but craps is why I go to play, and it's the only thing that I do play. And the last couple of years, I've been on the positive side. I've been fortunate, after many years of losing gambling overall, that included all kinds of games. But anyway, Ed, it's been an interesting night. We've gone way too long, and we do need to get out of here. To our West Coast viewers, sorry we're getting ready to leave, but we do start at 8:30 Eastern typically when we do this show, and we're dual streaming again on MidAtlantic Craps as well as Roll2Win Craps. My good friend Ed from Roll2Win. Ed, you wanna say anything real quick before we get out of here? I'll see everybody Tuesday night right here at MidAtlantic Craps 8:30. For the pre-show with my good friend G and Ed. Anything coming up?
Well, first of all, I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. It was fun. We don't do this but every so often. I don't put out a lot of content anymore. It's tough. It's tough to come up with new ideas. It's tough to come up with stuff, and you don't want to. I don't know. People say they get bored seeing a guy shoot the dice, just betting, and that's all I do. I just shoot the dice and I bet what's tossed. So, but there's a lot of people out there. What?
But during your videos, you're educationally speaking of how you would progress instead of just taking the 6 from 42 to 60. I mean, you tell people what's happening, and I think that's. Yeah, but I get where you're coming from. There's not a lot of content because people have so many choices, and from learning the game or bettering the game, people would rather watch shows that win and lose $100,000.
Well, I mean, if you want to watch stupid ass people, go watch Bluff or go watch, Sean Perry. I mean, you want to see if somebody will lose $50,000, $60,000. If that's what gets your rocks off, go watch that. Right?
Yep,
I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do that because that's freaking stupid. You want to see somebody throw in a shoebox and show you how to bet a system, go watch somebody else. Don't come watch me. That's pretty freaking simple, right? Because I'm not going to throw in a shoebox. I'm going to throw in a full table. I'm going to make real bets. I'm going to throw the video. And now I admit, nobody wants to see Ed PSO, but Ed will PSO as quick as anybody. I've always said that. And, if you play with me, you'll see me PSO, but you'll also see me make some major runs, and you're going to see me make some major bets. And I'm going to, my goal every time is to make the casino cry. So, I want to cut their throat every time I go to the table, but it doesn't happen. But, I have a good time in life. I have a good time at the casino, and, I have to get inspired. There's this thing that you just get burned out on YouTube. You get burned out making videos, and then eventually it comes back, and you can make a good run of videos. I like it when it happens, but when it doesn't, I'm sorry, folks, it just doesn't happen. So I don't do a lot anymore. I do the Patreon stuff when I can. That's about it. I mean, everything else is kind of rehashed of old stuff.
All right, and
look at Bone Thrower, for example. I don't know if you subscribe to Bone Thrower.
I do.
Bone Thrower is throwing out stuff that he threw out 4 or 5 years ago.
or more.
It's showing up. It's showing up as new content, but it's all stuff that he did 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
So he's probably got the same damn problem.
Well, I think what happens is, on a Patreon with a subscription base, people just drop off. And I think that, when you drop off, you with any type of business plan or any type of social media content, you want to gain more viewers. And, he's strictly a Patreon person for his content. And, he has 25,000 subscribers. And, he probably has 10 or 20% of those over paying, $14.99 a month. And it's a money thing. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for money. But that's just just me.
I have a different philosophy.
Yep, you do, and I respect you for it. And it's it comes and it goes. Real quick, one more time, Ed. Here we go. Put this up here for you, and
There you go. January Casino Tiers event. January in Biloxi. Saturday is sold out. We got 3 left for Sunday. March in Las Vegas, March 7th, 8th. Saturday is sold out. We've got 1 left for Sunday. Biloxi's pretty much wide open. We got four committed for Saturday. We've got nothing on Sunday yet. We got 4 left for Saturday, 8 left for Sunday. October, a year from now. Damn, a freaking year from now. We've already got 6 people signed up for October of next year in Las Vegas. On Saturday, Sunday is wide open. So pick your poison. We got the Brownwater Biloxi Bash, whatever you want to call it, Brownwater Bash in Biloxi, Mississippi. That's going to be in middle of May, right? The weekend after Mother's Day. Give the mothers their respect. Then come play craps. May 15th through the 17th.
Yep. And this comment from Rock says, Jeff, I'm hoping you guys can have a few practice sessions together soon. Those were some great shows. You guys are funny when the 3 of you get together. What makes it funny is we have a little enticement while we're throwing the dice. I don't drink, but one of us does, and it gets better as it goes along. But Rock, we plan to have one of those. And during my month of December, I'm giving away Casino Tiers dice, 24 sets of them. I will have Ed on the show with his table throwing dice, even if I have to pay him.
Really?
Yes.
That's the first I've heard of this.
It's the first I've said
I
it.
gotta throw the dice? I gotta throw the dice?
Yeah. Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, we should do that. We should, you and I used to have a good time, Mutt and Jeff.
Yeah, we did.
Things changed, internet changed, and there was a problem with that app that people ran into.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's still a problem or not. I have no idea. I've never done it. You know my thoughts on that freaking app. So
I've done 2 shows with the app since since some health things were going on since summertime. But I will let you know, if you download that app, I am the default voice for that app. I'm not going to say anything about it.
You are the voice.
Yeah.
You are the guy calling out the calls now, right?
Yeah. Well, there's other AI-generated voices on there you can choose, but I am the voice. Yes, that is true.
Man,
Ed,
it's been a good night. I appreciate it.
Well, it started out slow, technical difficulties, but we got rolling afterwards. I got the West Coast crowd come in with some good questions. The East Coast people kind of helped us. I'm on the East Coast. We started slow, but anyway, it was a good show. It was a long show too.
Yeah, we went longer than we expected, but whatever.
Yep.
So good deal.
So look, somebody's coming to the bash in May. You'll see her again. So
yes, Jen. May 15th through the 17th.
Yep, and I had a friend of ours, tell us that he's already made his room reservations for May. Won't mention any names, Lou, but he has.
Sweet Lou.
Yeah.
Sweet Lou is already booked.
Yeah, he does. He has his.
We don't know where the center of activity will be yet because of host issues. But we'll find out. We'll know by then. But that's the weekend. Regardless, that is the weekend.
Yep. A PG. This has actually been talked about several times, and the problem is the casino can't make any money, even if they took a rake like they do in poker tournaments. That's very difficult to do, but it's an idea that has been kicked around. But But in any event, Ed, thank you again for coming on to the show tonight. A great show, at least I think it is. And thanks to everybody that stuck around.
We always have fun. We always
do.
have fun, regardless of whether viewers do or not. You and I have fun.
Yep. And we never know, we were almost, at about the 40, 45-minute mark, we were getting ready to call the show. I think you called on to that when we were, and then all of a sudden, boom, the chat just makes it so generous, and we appreciate everybody that came and participated chat-wise.
Appreciate everybody. Yes, absolutely. Thanks to VDT for joining us for the live comments and questions and talk, and thank you for all the viewers that signed in and watched us. We're still out there. We appreciate you.
Yep, we do. And
just
I think
two back home, we would say that's just two knuckleheads on TV.
that is true. Except now we're on the tube. We're on the tube. I guess that would be TV back in those days too. We're on YouTube. But appreciate all the nice comments, including the one that Jen just gave us. Valuable content, not just fluff and small talk. I don't know, Jen. Back up to the beginning. There was some small talk, but anyway, in any event, we will go ahead and call the show, Ed. Thank you very much. We don't know when we're going to do these. We talk like on Monday, Tuesday, possibly Thursday, Friday. We make up our mind whether we're going to do it, and then poof, we come out with this. With the show's called Beyond the Passline. No chips left unturned. We appreciate everybody here, Ed.
I can promise you it'll be at least October before we do another one. November. It'll be November before we do another one.
It will be, considering that Halloween's just around the corner. But I appreciate it, Ed. Thank you very much. We'll talk to everybody, somewhere on YouTube, in person, whatever. And we'll see you on the next one. As always, Ed, go ahead and give your tagline, and I'll get out of here.
Practice like you play, everybody. Play like you practice. Go roll to win.
God bless each and every one of you. Play smart and be safe.